It's Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining. You could be anywhere in the whole wide world, but you're right here with me, and I definitely appreciate you for that. Shout out to everybody in the chat. If you're watching this live, watching it on the repeat, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Also, share the video. Do that for me, please. Share it on email, share it on your social media platforms, wherever you can. I appreciate that. There's a whole lot going on, a whole lot to quote unquote unpack. You already know the rest. The whole ABC cover-up from ABC about Jeffrey Epstein, pardon me, which got exposed by Project Veritas. They had a unnamed source within ABC, a leaker, if you will, that put out this information. Now, what happened was Amy Robach, and please protect Amy Robach. Hopefully, she does not wind up injured or dead, but we'll move on. She was on the hot mic talking. Maybe she didn't know she was being recorded, audio and video, and she was talking about how they had the information about Epstein for 3 years and were not allowed to get it to air. They couldn't get it to air for some reason. Very interesting. What's going to come as a result of that? Who knows? Although ABC did put out a statement talking about, well, we were trying to get it out, but never stopped talking about it. Matter of fact, you have a documentary coming out and a 6-part podcast, top of the year. Really? You're going to take this time to promote your show on the heels of getting exposed for covering up a worldwide international pedophile? We'll talk about a whole lot of stuff right here on ABL Live. And once again, thank y'all for joining. I definitely appreciate you, ABC. They are a big mess. What else we got? Oh, the Cartel Massacre. Rest in peace to the 9 people that were killed, shot on fire. Really crazy. It was, I think 6 children and 3 women, 18-month-old twin babies. Really, really sad. I'm hearing different accounts of what happened. I'm hearing that it was an accident. The cartel thought they were a rival cartel. I'm hearing that it was a targeted hit. I'm hearing that it was the Juarez cartel. I'm hearing that it was a Sinaloa cartel. I don't really know, but whatever the case may be, a Mexican cartel was involved, and you have 9 innocent Americans that have been killed. Really unfortunate. This is part of the reason why you got to have that wall built up. This happened not too far from the border. When I was in El Paso, I was hearing about stories that happened speaking about Juarez, right over the border in Juarez, with, people getting dumped in acid, just crazy stuff you couldn't even really imagine here in the U.S. happens over in Mexico. So do you really want that to come across the border? Do you really want that as part of your everyday life? I know I don't. I have no reason to want that to be part of my life. None whatsoever. So I think we need to have that wall built up and definitely have some kind of security built up right along the border for sure. Ain't no question about that. People say, oh, if we get rid of the drug war, the cartels will go away. I mean, the truth is that the cartels probably make their biggest money on legal, with an L, not with an I, legal drugs. Fentanyl is a legal drug. Okay, it's something you can get in a hospital. It's legal. You have opiate derivatives. Those are legal. They sell legal drugs on the street illegally. If somebody were to propose that you can get opioids like fentanyl over the counter, I mean, you're bugging. That'd just be ridiculous. So I think the problem is with the cartels themselves and with organized crime, not necessarily the crimes they commit. Got to get rid of the criminals. Like, you're trying to attack the specific crime. What about the criminals? You did what I'm saying? I think that's the main thing. So I think that's the main thing that we got to have going on. Let me see. What else we got? The border crisis is fiction. Oh, yeah, exactly, Mark. That's what they want to say. The border crisis is fiction. It's not a problem. Meanwhile, you got 9 dead Americans right there. Meanwhile, right across the border, you get people getting machine gunned. I mean, it's so bad that the cartels forced the Mexican government to release El Chapo's son. Right after he got arrested, like 2 hours later, he was out. They had a 50 cal mounted on top of a truck. I mean, and then they want to blame Americans. How are you going to blame Americans for Mexican cartels having 50 cal? Where can you get that? What Bob's gun store can I go to get a 50 cal? I mean, you tell me, can I get that on the back of my truck? Can I go to Walmart and get that and put it on my truck and just drive around town? And come on, be for real. Let's just be serious here for a moment. You know, but what else we got? Now Trump went to UFC. I thought that was a great event. People were mad, people were hating, but it was great. Shout out to my man Dana White for letting everybody know what time it is. It's like, yo, this is my friend. I appreciate Trump. He always had my back, regardless of what it was. When we were first starting, nobody wanted to see us. Nobody wanted to have us in their establishment. They said this is a blood sport. People just getting bashed in the head with fists and all this and that. They didn't want the UFC in their establishment, but Trump said, hey, come on to the Taj Mahal. Come on to my events. I'll be at your shows. I support you 100%. Everything that Trump said he would do, every promise that he would make to Dana White, he came through. He's a stand-up guy from the very beginning. So Dana White is holding true to his principles as a man and not discarding somebody because it's a popular thing to do. He stood by Trump the same as Trump stood by him long before any political aspirations. Long before that, Trump stood right by his side, and Dana White did the same thing for Trump. So you got Brian Stelter talking about why is Trump at UFC, who invited him here, this, that, and the third. Well, meanwhile, Donald Trump and the president of the UFC, Dana White, are good friends. So that's how he got into the UFC. And it was pretty well done. Secret Service was deep, but nobody tried anything crazy. Thank goodness for them, because if you try anything crazy with the president, with Secret Service right there, it's not going to be a good day for you. All of this right here, all your head going to be just pushed back to last year. So you don't want that at all. But shout out to everybody for having a peaceful event. You had some boos, but you had a lot of cheers as well. Shout out to everybody that are in the UFC. Like my man, I think his name is Derek Lewis. Shout out to him. He supports Trump. Another guy that came out there and said, hey, I don't care what you think about Trump's policies or whatever. I don't care too much about that. You can think whatever you want. But, you know, that's a bad man. You know, he's doing, like, you can't really discard the alpha nature, basically is what he was saying, without being super profane. And then who else? Oh, shout out to my man. What's my man's name? I forget my man's name, that from the Washington Nationals. I know you guys know. The Washington Nationals, I think he's a catcher, fourth generation Japanese from Hawaii, who went to the White House and put on the MAGA hat. Matter of fact, I'm about to find out right now. That's my man, Kurt Suzuki. That's his name. I remember it just now. So shout out to my man, Kurt Suzuki, for going to the White House, throwing the MAGA hat on, and letting everybody know what time it is. You know, shout out to him. There he is right there. So, yeah, I mean, we are just getting beyond all this race division and stuff like that. We're coming together as Americans. You know, some people ask me, what's the point of a Black Leadership Summit, ABL? Well, the thing about a Black Leadership Summit is we're trying to get Black folks on board with being conservative so we can all just be together like they were in that picture. You know, and see right here in this picture, race is not important. It's irrelevant. At the end of the day, everybody's together. Everybody's having a good time. That is the ultimate goal of Black Leadership Summit, anything like that that has conservative values in it. We want to take people that may feel like they are unrepresented, not really listened to, and say, hey, you have a voice, you have a place, come with us, it's all good, let's enjoy ourselves and have that be that. That's the whole point. We're going to get past all this race BS because it's just phony at the end of the day. It ain't, you know, you're an American, and that's it. You know, come to this country, be in this country, be productive, and have that be that, regardless of what race or whatever you decide to be. You know? Yeah, people talking about the hug because he hugged them, like, by his chest. It's like, man, come on. People, I knew as soon as I saw that, the media would be all over it. They're trying to say that he was trying to fill him up. It's like, fill what? Man, it's just a chest. He just hugged him. I mean, come on. Like, you know, expressions of emotion seem to just be, anything that a guy like Trump does will be just taken out of context and looked at strangely by the media, because that's the whole point. Anything that anybody does that the media does not like will be taken out of context and viewed strangely, because the whole point is to try and attack that person, not for anything else. It is what it is. All right. Let me see. Okay. But thank you all for joining. I definitely appreciate you. Okay, we got a few more things in here. I'll talk about a few more issues that I'm seeing in the chat a little bit later. What else we got? Oh, the election coverage. People talking about Virginia was taken over by the Democrats and it's historic. No, it's not. First of all, it ain't the first time that's happened. It happened 20 years ago. That's not long ago, really. That's like what, in the late 90s, almost 2000s at this point. So it's not anything new, number one. Number two, Virginia has pretty much become blue. At one point, years ago, it was red. I say like maybe in the 90s, maybe, or not quite, maybe like purple. But it's definitely not purple now. It's definitely a blue state. Why? It's because of Washington, D.C. People want to say it's about race, but that's not, it doesn't make any sense when you think about politics for real, when you zoom out. If it's about race, like if the whole idea is having less whites means you have more Democrats, then explain Mississippi. Mississippi is about 58% white, but it's always red. 58% white, always red, Mississippi. Now go to Illinois, 71% white or more, but always blue. You got to look at the actual state, the cities in the state, and look at it in context. The problem with Virginia is Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C. People from all over the world move up there for what? There's no real industry up there. You're not going up there to build cars or to work on your iPhone or anything like that. You're going up there to work with the federal government directly or indirectly. High paying jobs, high cost of living. These people tend to vote more liberal regardless of what their race is. Okay? If the same situation was up there, you had 100% white people, it'd be liberal still. That's just kind of how it is. The DC area is growing with the same kind of people. It's just like Texas, and you see California's coming in. You don't think about their race first. You think about, oh, they from California. They got California plates. You know pretty much what time it is. You see them in Denver, Colorado, Austin, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona. You already know what time it is. Not everybody from California is going to be like that, but you can pretty much safely assume that if they're coming from California to Texas, Colorado, Arizona, they might be liberal, or they may kind of be left-leaning. That's just kind of how it is. A lot of folks that are not like that, that are not left-leaning, have a harder time being able to escape California. That's what it's going to come down to eventually. You got to try to escape the city and the state of California. It'd be like North Korea, but that's a different story. So that's the main thing. Somebody racist in the chat. I can't even really see what's going on. Okay. But I see a lot of people in the chat talking. I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, the main thing with Virginia is the people that moved to Washington, D.C. that control the state. Very liberal area. Everybody wants more government because the government pays them. And it's unfair to everybody else in the state. When you go to the rest of Virginia, it's not like that. It's like how New York City controls New York State. When you go into Buffalo and Syracuse, it ain't the same way it is down in the city. But the city controls the state because there's so many people, there's so much money, there's so much power down there. You can't really get beyond that. It's the same thing with D.C. Going back to Virginia right quick, Terry McAuliffe was a governor before Governor Blackface, Ralph Northam. Matter of fact, Ralph Northam was Terry McAuliffe's lieutenant governor, the vice governor, whatever you want to call it. Terry McAuliffe is not even from Virginia. He's from New York. In my humble opinion, Terry McAuliffe is simply a Washington, D.C. politico that saw a potential job opening down the street to go work and be the governor of Virginia. Terry McAuliffe went from being Hillary Clinton's campaign manager in 2008 to the governor of Virginia in 2010. Coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. Bob McCabe's wife ran for Senate in Virginia. That's kind of how they rock. They use Virginia as a place to commute to for work from D.C. You see them? That's how it is up there. That's why Virginia is controlled by Democrats. People like that exist in Virginia. They only care about D.C. and that federal government money, period. That's why. Yeah, it's a DC suburbs. Actually, Washington DC is very small geographically. There's only like 600,000 people in the whole city, but the metro area has 6 million people. It's almost like Atlanta, but not quite. That's a different story. I was not surprised by any of the election results, Lisa. None at all. Especially not Virginia. I saw that coming. Right when they elected Ralph Northam, I was like, okay, we're done. Yeah. I mean, Terry McAuliffe bad enough. And what they did to Bob McDonnell back in 2012, 2013, whenever that was. Bob McDonnell was a Republican governor from 2010 to 2014, and the Democrats in Virginia got him convicted. Not literally, but you understand what I'm saying. They went through a lot to smear this man, and he wound up being convicted on perjury. He had to go to court for years to get that overturned, which did happen in the Supreme Court. And they're talking about he was accepting bribes. He got convicted on corruption. They said he had a Rolex watch. His wife rented a car. He got a loan for like $5,000. The total money that was in question was like $150,000. Not a whole lot of cash to really be in question as far as corruption. Terry McAuliffe, on the other hand, a Democrat, had a shady business deal with China and got sued by China, or the Chinese quote unquote company that quote unquote gave or lended or invested in him some money. Millions of dollars. That wasn't a big deal. That's no problem. He was able just to keep on rocking. Ralph Northam puts on blackface in his yearbook talking about, oh, that's not me. Well, who is it then? If it's not you in the picture, why is it in your yearbook picture? Why would I put a picture of somebody else in my yearbook picture? It does not make sense. I might put that in the back of my yearbook, just like in the cut in between some sheets of paper, but in my actual yearbook section, why would I put somebody else right there? And why would I put somebody in a Klan costume and blackface in my yearbook section, period? If it's me or if it's not me. He gets away with that. CNN questioned him about that, and they say, oh, that's in the past, move on. Okay? And then the lieutenant governor, who used to be the attorney general, the attorney general, who was the attorney general last time under McAuliffe, Mark Herring, did the same thing with the shoe polish on his face, talking about, I was trying to be Curtis Blow, really? And then the lieutenant governor, Justin Fairfax, got a bunch of rape allegations on his back. You got all these guys. Imagine if they were on the right. What would the reaction be? You got a rapist, two racists in the actual government and high positions in Virginia. But since they're liberal, it's no deal. It's no big deal. Get over it, move on. That's how they kind of, just do. So it is what it is. All right. But shout out to everybody in Bella says, I still think Ralph was in the KKK outfit. Hey, it could have been. The way I look at it is, if it's in your yearbook, it's you. He's both people. Even if it's not him at all, I look at it as it's both people because you put it there. You had to take time out your day and think about, what do you want to put in your yearbook section? When it was us, when you were kids, you try to put some kind of snarky comment in there, too legit to quit, something, silly. But this man decided, what I'm going to do? I'm 26 years old in medical school. I'm going to put somebody in a Klan costume and a blackface outfit in my yearbook. That's going to make sense. That'll really just be my statement to make in my yearbook picture after I become a medical doctor or get my doctorate degree. That'd be right on point. Let me see. Oh, I didn't know anything about the Covington kids lawsuit. It got dismissed. I've not heard about that. We'll see if that happened. Yeah, and shout out to the fake whistleblower. The whistleblower situation is crazy. I put a post on my Facebook page that showed his name and his picture, which is all over the internet. It's not a secret. You got big news outlets reporting on it. It's everywhere. That post got deleted talking about it violates the terms of service. Really? So me just posting the news story on my Facebook page, it's against the community standards. I didn't say anything negative about them. I said, this is a picture of the crowd of people during the inauguration or after Trump became the president on the first day because they had to leave. it was a picture, everybody looking real salty, people like Valerie Jarrett and others looking real mad. He was in the picture, and I said his name, and I circled around him, and I put arrows right there. Like, that's him. But somehow that's a violation of community guidelines. I don't understand. They're trying to just, not have his name be known. But my thing is, since when was it illegal to put his name out there? There's only one person that cannot put the name out there. I forget who it is. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. I know Rand Paul said it today, but I forget the person. It might have been the Inspector General or somebody like that. Only one person can't say their name by law. There's no law that says that I can't say his name, and there's no law that says that I can't repeat information that's already online. That's right there. It's simple. And beyond that, why can't I say his name? Is he in witness protection? I didn't know it was like that. I didn't know he was Tekashi 6ix9ine. He didn't told on the mob and this, that, and the third. He got to get put in witness protection. I didn't know it was like that. I mean, does he get a new identity? Does he get a new name? If that's the case, then why should you be worried about him putting his name out there? Get him surgery on his face to reconstruct it, get him a new life, a new identity, and then his name won't even matter. How about that? If you want to go to that extreme of, censoring people for putting his name out there, it's crazy. It is what it is. And then I reviewed it right when I saw it, and then like a minute later, I got a notification that said that they got rejected. Did you even look at it? Does it even matter? These policies that they have on these social media platforms are useless. They only enforce the policies whenever they feel like it's appropriate, especially Twitter. You could do whatever you want on Twitter. You could talk about how to, cook cocaine or whatever you want on Twitter, and it's fine. But let me talk about something that goes against what a random person disagrees with. People getting suspended for no reason. Reporters, media, people getting suspended for no reason. Like, for what, though? Why? Exactly, Zealand's in. Anonymity is not protected, but his job is protected. Exactly. All I'm saying is, you out there talking about that and the third. All right, put it out there. Put your name out there, testify, get cross-examined like everybody else would. It is what it is. That's all I'm saying. Anonymous says he is not really whistleblower, just a disingenuous political actor serving the DNC deep state agenda. I mean, I don't doubt you on that. I don't doubt you at all. I think that makes a lot of sense. Because this guy worked for Joe Biden. The guy is clearly somebody that is, again, a never Trumper. It's no question. His lawyer, never Trumper, talking about, the coup's underway back in 2017. So, I mean, they're not even really trying to hide it. They're totally transparent with their disdain for Trump and with their agenda of trying to take the administration down. It's not like you can't put a genie back in the bottle. So they're trying to censor my post for what, though? It's already out there. I'm saying this is his name, Eric Charmello, whatever his name is. Okay, everybody said that already. It's already out there on the internet. It's common knowledge at this particular point. They're talking about it on TV. Why are we trying to pretend like it's not information that's already out there? Everybody knows his name, And the whole Jeffrey Epstein situation is crazy from ABC News. Like I said, hopefully they protect Amy Robach. I don't want her to get injured at all. Not in the least bit. The Popeye situation was crazy, but guess what, though? Very predictable, 100% predictable. Because, look, last time they put the sandwich out, you had problems. And the thing about Popeyes is that a lot of them are like right in the hood, right in the ghetto. So you got a bad mix. You got people that's right in the ghetto, right in the hood, a very popular social media item, scarcity that creates demand. It creates a higher demand that could turn volatile when there's not enough supply to meet the demand. You understand what I'm saying? Scarcity, high demand, bad area, social media, meme. You're gonna have violence. Unfortunately, somebody passed away. May that man rest in peace. 28 years old, black, of course, in PG County, dead. So rest in peace to that man. If he had kids, hopefully they'd be able to, continue on in life and keep going without their father. But it was easy to see. That's going to happen. This is kind of like what goes on. Hopefully they just cut that sandwich, discontinue the sandwich. Stop with the sandwich. It's causing all kind of problems. When I go to Chick-fil-A, I don't have these issues. When I go to Zaxby's, I don't have these issues. You know, everybody's in there, different races or whatever, getting along. Everybody's fine. But Popeyes, I got to bring a bulletproof vest. I got to bring my gun. I got to bring my knife. For what, though? Somebody cuts you in line and you're risking your life to rectify the situation? Why? I saw one situation where a guy was in his truck and got out of his truck to fight some old white dude, but they both white. It's like you got this old man on the ground over what, though? A sandwich? This man was like, you know, roly-poly style. Just, you know what I mean? Like this here, rolling on the ground over a sandwich. Is it worth it? Your hip then got broke. You bought 80 years old with a broken hip over a chicken sandwich. That costs how much? $1 to make, if that. What's the cost of a chicken sandwich at Popeyes? Are they using grade A chicken or what? I don't know, but like I said, I digress. And shout out to everybody in the chat. I thank y'all for being here. We'll get to the calls a little bit later. Day White. Exactly. Ghetto areas, black, white, Puerto Rican candy stripe, I just avoid. And if I got to go there, I'm definitely bringing that action for sure. Everyday carry, I can't get into that. But I like the Glock. My favorite gun right now, I like Glocks. Glock 9mm. It was like I got the Glock 43. That's what I like right now because of my hands. I got big hands, so I like the way it is. Let me see. Popeyes is the Walmart of chicken. Hilarious, Brian Anderson, 100%. Chick-fil-A is like a chic department store, and Zaxby's is like Target. Zaxby's is like calling Target Target. That's pretty much what that is. Yeah, food, exactly. HGB host boosting food. It's like, really? It's not that deep. It's not, you know, it's not so hard to just, you know, behave properly. Mexican stores have great food, Zealand's in, but my jam, and I miss Virginia for this, are the Filipino spots. Oh my goodness, man, that lumpia, that lechon, the chicken adobo, the pancit, oh, pfft. But nobody ever fights in there. Everybody's always happy, smiles on their face. You know, you got the aunties in the back frying the lumpia. Everybody's happy. It's no problem. That's what I like. I don't like to have to go in there and fight. You know, like I got to be in there like Judge Dredd, Terminator, or something like that to get my okay fried chicken with some special sauce on the top. I'm good. Okay, what else I got that's on my list of things I want to talk about? Yeah, exactly, Alex Doe, Zaxby. Shout out to Valerie Rogers who says, the most wonderful sandwich ever created. Which one is that? Chick-fil-A, Zaxby's. Hopefully it ain't Popeyes. Let me see. Tanner Williams says, Chick-fil-A is a Tyson's Corner Mall and Popeyes is Iverson Mall. Hilarious. I've been up there to that area, so I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I did see some of the Lucas and Nick interview. That was funny because Lucas was just kind of like not engaged in the way that I would normally see him. If you're gonna have an interview like that and you disagree with something, I think you should kind of like kick back a little bit, have a debate. That's what I think. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you just can ask questions and let him say whatever he wants and not kick back. But I've had talks with Lucas before, and shout out to my man Lucas on his Instagram. He had no problem kicking back on me, disagreeing with me. So keep that same energy all the time. That's all I say. If it's me, I would have kicked back on some of the things he said that I did not agree with. That's pretty much how that is. Okay, let me see. I'm reading the comments here. But yeah, that Cartel massacre was very, very unfortunate, and there's more that'll come out as it relates to that. Thank you, you all shook up. I appreciate it. Rapper 10,000 says, ask Nippon if you heard about the schools in UK trying to ban World War II history from the schools. Wow, that's crazy. How are you just going to ban history? It's a thing that happened. It's right, and it happened like right there. How are you going to ban history like that from the books? It doesn't make any sense. Let me see. Oh yeah. Oh, Spencer Cogdill says thoughts on the Manhattan DA Democrats subpoenaing Trump's tax returns. That's crazy. And my thing is, what are they even going to find in the tax returns? Seriously, Rachel Maddow had some tax returns sent to her, and she's like, "Yeah, this is going to be excellent. I got a great find, this, that, and the third." Opening it up, it was like Geraldo's vault from the '80s, if you remember that. If you can go back that far, it was a nothing burger. They found nothing on the inside. Maybe they're going to find out he's not a billionaire. Maybe they're going to find out. I'm not sure what they're looking for, really. I think the biggest thing that Trump revealed was his income disclosure form, his asset disclosure. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But on that form, it was very detailed. You're not going to find anything really on a 1040 or something like that, 1099, whatever it is, 1099, whatever forms he has, you're not going to find anything, because that's just kind of like a formality. Seriously, when you're talking about that form, at that point, it becomes a formality. You're not going to find extensive documentation on a tax form. You're going to find things filled in that need to be filled in, deductions and stuff like that, but not anything of any significance. If there was a smoking gun, it would have been found already. Trump's been under audit for 15 years by the IRS. So if the IRS, matter of fact, I got a letter from the IRS today talking about some money from last year. If the IRS wants some money from you, if you did a crime or something illegal or improper, they let you know. It ain't going to be no secret. You're not going to be super sleuth deputy dog and find something out that the government don't already know. It's just dumb to even be trying to keep pushing this. But you know what? It's all about just trying to distract. You're trying to find something to get Trump on. You don't have anything. You're batting 0 for 0, 0 for 4, I should say. You don't have anything. So you try to find something to get him on. Even if it's going to be a futility, you can still say, we're trying to get it. He doesn't want to give it up. You can use that as a way to try to attack him, to say that he's dishonest or somehow deceitful. That's kind of how that goes. So it's just silly. All right. Exactly. Working for free. Why worry about Trump's tax returns? It's all about just trying to get him on something. That's all that it is. Let me see. All right. I'm reading the chat. Lucas, I say you says it was an interview, not a debate. Hey, man. But, hey, you've been in my Instagram. Say, just I want you to have that same energy for Nick. If you're on the social media, he said something about, well, the issue with black people is not culture or politics. It's just innate to them. They can't help it. When he says something like that on social media, I want you to kick back. The same way you kick back on me. When I was at Politicon and the white dude said the N-word and you were like, oh, you're just going to let that slide? Keep that same energy with Nick Fuentes. And then I'm going to say you're doing right. But if not, then I see some hypocrisy there, sir. But you know what? Anybody can call in. I'll get to the calls a little bit later. I'm going to read the chat. But if Lucas is still here, you can call in once I start taking the calls. And I love to have him on. Anybody, anytime. But I'm not there yet, so just hang on a minute. I'll get to that in a moment. Little Drummer Girl says, the IRS sent me a bill for 37 cents 1 year, LOL. Exactly. If you owe them some money, you'll know about it. It ain't gonna be no secret. It ain't gonna be like, don't nobody know. If you're under audit for 15 years straight, everything that is in your life that's improper, illegal, or whatever will be known. It ain't gonna be no revelation made by Rachel Maddow or MS13 NBC. It ain't gonna be no revelation made by some random attorney in Manhattan. It's gonna be nothing. They're gonna get the forms if they are able to get them legally, and then it'll be nothing. And then they move on to something else. It's the same thing with Russia. They took 3 years, $40 million, and they were adamant about it. All in the media. Trump colluded with the Russians, worked with the Russians. He's Vladimir Putin's puppet, is that, and the third. Then when it came time for the information to be revealed from the Russia investigation, they had a big fat nothing burger, zero, zilch, nada, nothing. Okay, it'll be the same thing with tax returns. Another empty thing that really can't even be fulfilled. Okay? I mean, hold on. I'm reading some of the comments. I see Lucas commenting, but I can't really. It said it ain't the same. What's not the same? So if I say a thing you disagree with and you kick back on me, do the same thing with him. In an interview, different story. Social media, if I'm on social media, I have a post you don't like, and you come on there and you say you don't like it, and you say why, and then you put in clown emojis. Go do the same thing to Nick on his social media. Go to his Twitter feed, his Instagram feed, and say the same thing. Don't just, you know what I mean? If you don't do that, then you're just being hypocritical. I will disagree with a thing regardless of who says it or whatever it is. If you're conservative, say a thing I don't like, whoever you are, if I feel a certain way, I'm gonna say it. If I say one thing in one interview, I'm gonna say the same thing in a different interview. That's just kind of how I operate. I'm a consistent person. Nah, ain't no ducking. I don't want no debate with Nick Fuentes because I don't want that kind of content on my channel. Because I don't want people to think that this is like some kind of blood sports or alt-right or something like that. That's not the wave. That's not the direction of my channel. If he were to call into the show, I wouldn't hang up on him, but I'm not going to schedule a debate with him on my channel because it ain't a kind of party over here. So it is what it is. I don't have those kinds of debates on my channel. I've never had those kind of debates on my channel. I'm not going to start today. The closest one was Destiny. That was the closest one. And I'm pretty much beyond that at this point. Lucas, you got to understand how to listen. That's one thing, Lucas, you my dog, but you don't be listening. I said not in the interview. Let's forget about the interview. Like it never happened. Like it didn't even do it. I'm talking about social media, Instagram posts where there's no back and forth exchange of verbal words of communication. Not an interview. If I say a thing on my Instagram page on the post that you don't like and you come in there and talk about it, do the same thing with his Instagram post that you don't like, talk about it there. Keep that same energy. Not the interview, sir. So you got to stop talking about the interview. If you were referring to me, that is. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, no. See, the thing about it is, it's not an argument with me. See, I mean, listen, anybody that know me knows, like, I will debate anybody. It don't matter who you are, but I don't take it personal. It's nothing personal. It's all good. Thank you to Bucolic Buffalo for becoming a member of the ABL squad. I definitely appreciate you. And everybody in the chat, please give the video a thumbs up. I appreciate y'all for being here 1,000%. And my man right there, Bucolic Buffalo, says a little support for you, sir. Thank you for that. I definitely appreciate you, boss. 1,000%. Okay, you don't follow Nick? Okay, that was a nice way to get out of that one. All I'm saying is, hey, keep the same energy regardless of where you at. That's all I got to say. Let me see. Andrew Yang, POTUS 2020. I don't know about that one. Andrew Yang cannot get past a Democratic primary. So how's he going to become the president? People talk about, you could be running a third party, libertarian. That's not going to actually succeed. Not yet. All they do is play the spoiler. And they only play the spoiler in close elections locally, like what happened in Kentucky. If the Libertarian did not run, then Matt Bevin would have won pretty handedly. But since you had like 28,000 votes that went to the Libertarian, I believe those votes would have gone to the Republican mostly. Some would have gone to the other guy or not been casted, but I think a lot of them would have went to the Republican and it would have put him over the top, in my humble opinion. At least 15,000 of the 28,000 votes. Or 10,000, that would have been enough. Let me see. Shout out to Chart Data who says, you, Brandon Tatum, and Conservative Twins are my favorite Republican channels. I thank you for that. I definitely appreciate you. That's a great group of guys right there. Shout out to my man, Brandon Tatum, Hodge Twins, Keith and Kevin. Really, really good dudes. And they from Virginia. Keith and Kevin from Virginia. They, right down the road from me. So shout out to them. They're not literally down the road from me, but they grew up in Virginia. So they, that's Virginia boys, Virginia energy. Shout out to them. Yeah, shout out to my man, Kevin's Corner. Hey, I can't do nothing about that. Live at the same time is all good. You got to pick one or switch back and forth. It's all love. Yeah, Lucas, he'll call in. If he's here, he'll call in when I start. Let me see. Chris B says Officer Tatum is Israel's muscle to silence Hotel Jesus. That's hilarious. Brandon was not even involved with that. He was just an intermediary to pass a message. He didn't even do anything, but he got outed by somebody for no reason. Like, he was just trying to, be the peacemaker. He wasn't even involved. People just say anything on the internets. Virginia Energy, exactly, Cortex Phoenix, 100%. Now, that's not Lucas. Somebody calls in, if you guys don't know, somebody calls into my show all the time that's pretending to be a trans person, but they really are not. It's not Lucas. People said it was Lucas. It's not him. I'm not sure who that is. It could be O'Shea. That's a good point. It could be O'Shea, Miriam. It sounds like him now that I think about it. It definitely does sound like him. Spencer Cotdill says we need to focus on the Rust Belt states, Texas and Florida. And I'm with you. 100%. Let me see. Greta Thunberg's looking for a boat ride. I'm not sure what she wants. I mean, the thing is, okay, Greta Thunberg took some kind of, I'm not really sure what to call it, a less carbon. It wasn't carbon free, but she got to one part of the world without getting on the plane. Don't know how. I don't think it was no raft or nothing like that. If you wanted them big boats or a ship, that's not going to be exactly zero carbon, but we'll move on. And now she wants a way to get to somewhere else because the thing that she wants to go to got moved. So she's trying to find a ride. I mean, what you going to do? I mean, if you got to go over water, either you're going to take a plane or a boat. That's it. So how hard is it to really understand what to do? Like, just get a ride. She got plenty of money, or her parents do. Her handlers got plenty of money. So just get a ride. Hop on the plane or hop on the boat. If you got to get on the boat, it takes you, 3 weeks to get to your destination. Oh, well, that's what you choose to do. You know what I mean? Let me see. Slick Willie. Now, Slick Willie, I thought that I had free speech and freedom of association. So why are you attacking me for what I choose to do? I mean, come on, man. Let's just stop. Little Jumbo Girl says, my sons think Greta is haunting our house. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. But yeah, if you saw that little speech, I wouldn't even be mad at them thinking that how dare you, I wouldn't be mad. That'd give me nightmares right there. So, that could be a spirit in your house just, wreaking havoc, knocking bowls off the shelf onto the ground, all kind of stuff. So I wouldn't really be mad about that. If she could swim, hey, Darth Vader, guess there you go. Put on a swimsuit and get to moving. It might be a little rough when she gets in the middle of the ocean, but hey, just, find your way. Let me see. Have I seen Greta Thunberg Jr.? I have not. There's a younger version of Greta Thunberg or a different version of Greta Thunberg. I've not seen that. Let me see. Daryl Norda says someone calls you an African American, you can call them, no, I'm from Virginia. That's what I say. That's definitely what I say. If somebody say you're African American, or the thing that kind of gets me is when they say you don't know your heritage. I know my heritage. I'm from originally West Virginia. That's where my family is from, and I grew up in Virginia. That's where I'm from. Born in Charleston, West Virginia. That's my heritage right there. Why do I care about where I came from in Africa? For what? What does that got to do with anything? I did not come from Africa. I was born here in the United States. I don't have any family that came from Africa. I got family that goes all the way back to the 1800s, early 1800s that I know of, and we all in West Virginia for the most part, or Ohio, or western parts of Virginia. Well, technically, it would not be West Virginia at that point because it was still Virginia. But we all kind of from the same area originally. When you're talking about Africans, a lot of them aren't necessarily, quote unquote, indigenous to where they live at right now. Nigeria has a lot of immigrants from other places that still call themselves Nigeria. South Africa, the Zulu were from Central Africa, but they're South African, ain't they? So why should I care about my quote unquote original place of origin when that's not even the real thing anymore? It's all about where you at, where you grew up, where your family from. Simple. Let me see. Hold on. I'm looking at some of the comments. I saw one that I wanted to look at here. Yeah, the pigeonholes. Like I'm American 100% through and through. That's me. Ain't no African. I mean, a person that's an African American would be Charlize Theron, who actually grew up in Africa and then came to America. Or Elon Musk, same thing, from South Africa, now lives in America. You're African American. I, on the other hand, born and raised in the United States, grandma, great grandma, great 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 grandma, all United States. So what am I talking about? Exactly. And a European American. I never heard anybody say, I'm a European American. They might say they're, the family ancestry if they have family that came from Ireland that they can identify. Like, okay, like Donald Trump, his mom came from Ireland. Something like that I can understand. But if you've been here since like the Nina and the Pinta and the Santa Maria, I mean, come on, you're an American at the end of the day. None of no European countries even apply to you. Ghostmon says you're more you than you've ever been. Well, I thank you for that. I appreciate it. That's a compliment. Okay, what else we got here? Yeah, but I don't really identify with none of that. I'm just an American at the end of the day. I'm black, of course, but I'm an American. That's my nationality. Race is black. For people that really matter. Let me see. Kingdom Within says, I don't have an afro, I have an Amerifro. Shout out to Justin Lee Peterson. I met him in Politicon. Like I said before in the other stream, he got that old man strength. When you look at him, he's like one of your uncles that if you try to fight, he just beats you straight down. He would be like it was nobody's business. That old man strength, 100%. Like if you get a hold of you with them hands, you're not going to be able to get out. That's that strong iron grip, like a pair of pliers. You ain't going nowhere. Vice grip. Exactly. Black spring with autumn. To be American is enough. 100%. When I go anywhere, when I go overseas, if I go to Africa, Europe, Asia, wherever I'm at, they know I'm an American. I start talking, they're not going to say, oh, my brother, welcome. They're going to say, you're an American. That's it. Can I get some money? I'm playing. Oh, Scotland? Pardon me. Yeah, not Ireland. That's where Trump's mother is from, in Scotland. Miriam said, you thought I was broccoli. I identified as broccoli briefly for a moment. I was going through a phase. I was experimenting. And then I said, you know what? I identify as broccoli. And my pronouns are the emoji of a broccoli and then two more to represent multiple of me. But no, I'm not a broccoli anymore. All right. Let me see. I'm reading some of the comments, and then I'm going to get to the calls. I know you guys want to call in. Some of you guys got a little bit to say. Shout out to my man Lucas if you're here in the chat. You're going to get to the calls. If you call in, it's all good. But keep that same energy with Nick. If Nick has a call-in show, I want you to call in and express yourself the same way you call in and express yourself on my show. Don't switch up for a particular situation. Let me see. Full-blooded American Mutt says, why do blacks hate on African immigrants? Okay, well, some. We got to say some. You can't say all. Because most black folks, quite frankly, don't even really care. But some that do, well, I'll take that back. When you were a kid, the hate comes from just being different. The whole African booty scratcher stuff like that. It comes from being different. But really, the whole thing about African booty scratcher, that kind of, derogatory term, that's to anybody that's dark skinned. I got that same thing when I was a kid and I'm not African. So that's just kind of people just being silly and being kids and being afraid or unaware of the unknown. But as adults, it's less like that. People don't really care. But some black folks do because it's about envy. They look at black folks doing well. They look at Africans doing well. You may have some people that are doctors, people that are just, they look like they're doing well. They're envious of that. That's really what it boils down to. It's really kind of simple. Okay. Carrie, yeah, I'm not a broccoli anymore. I've reverted back to my normal gender. I'm not a broccoli anymore. Yeah, exactly. HGB boosting. They come here, kill the SATs, the colleges, etc. The African American. Yeah. That's what it is. The Africans tend to do better than the African Americans. That's not always the case, but a lot of times they do. You know, and some African Americans focus on that and get envious because they think that should be them rather than the African that came from somewhere else. But at the same time, therefore, just unfettered illegal immigration. I don't get it, but I digress. It's a whole lot of things people just do because they're ignorant and don't understand anything else. They've never been told anything else. They're kept in these little echo chambers, but never hear anything other than just victimhood and Crimea River. There's no dads around. That's a whole different story right there. I don't even want to go down that far of a road. Thank you to Insight of the Ages, who says, why are whites Irish, Scottish, German, and French, and blacks are just black? We are all humans at the end of the day, the same, just different shades. Well, like I was saying earlier, some whites, they, may have a parent from Ireland or something like that, so they can identify directly with that. But blacks, that's not really the case. We've been here for a long time. Like, the truth is, most whites in America came after slavery, so they know, like, they might have came in the 1900s, so they know that their great grandma came from Ireland versus us. We've been here for like 400 years. It's a much different thing. We are Americans in the true sense rather than recent immigrants who are also American, but we have a deeper, we have a more vested interest in the country, so we've been here longer. I saw something I wanted to see that I wanted to talk about, but I missed it. Eliza Jean, thank you for your donation. She says, Canadian election campaigns take 35 to 50 days. How long are American ones? Feels like they take years. Thank you for being patient with all callers. Hey, it's all good. Thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. When you say it takes 30 to 40 to 50 days, I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mean it takes that long to count the votes or for the cycle? To count the votes, it's pretty much like, overnight. Well, it depends. If it's like real close and they can't call it, it could be a long time. But usually overnight, a couple days, it ain't that long to count the votes. Let me see. 400 years sound like a choice? Well, I mean, the truth is that America was always a better place for Africans to be when you're talking about going back to slavery, because the people that got brought over here during slavery were slaves in Africa. So if you had to pick between being a slave in Africa or being a slave in America, which one would you choose? Obviously, you don't want to be a slave, period, or dead. But if you got to pick, it's lesser of two evils. It's like voting in a sense. It's a tough thing to say, but it's the truth, and nobody can really say that I'm false. Oh, the whole campaign cycle? I mean, years, like, because you see what's going on right now. People like Kamala Harris and Cory Booker, quite frankly, were preparing themselves to run, I think, during the 2017 year. Yeah. So it's years. It's like perpetual. People are always running. It never really stops. It just kind of ramps up at a particular point in time where money gets infused into it. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get to the calls. Somebody says I'm brainwashed. If I'm brainwashed, call the show and try to unbrainwash me. How about that, sir? Or ma'am, I don't want to assume your gender. Let me see. All right. Yeah, anybody trying to go to Africa to live? People go to Africa to visit, but nobody's trying to actually go there to live. That's not even a thing. People want to live in America. As simple as that. It really ain't nothing else to it. All right, so my calls are open. The number to call is 434-658-1220. I'm reading some of the chat here. Kanye meant the slave mentality, not actual slavery. I mean, maybe it was the actual slavery too. I mean, it could be kind of like one and the same. The slave mentality would go towards being enslaved. Because if your mentality is enslaved, then so shall you. As a human being, your body will be enslaved if your mind is enslaved. That's how they get you. They enslave your mind, then your body. 773 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Anthony, my name is Anna from Chicago.
Alrighty, what's happening?
You know, I want to mention, remember last week Donald Trump had come over here and he was going to speak at the Chicago police whatever situation, and the cop, the sergeant, Eddie Johnson, didn't want to go. Remember that?
I remember that, yes.
Yeah, I want to mention a few things about that. Number one, there's a lot of Trump supporters here in Chicago. So don't let the people, the media, lie to you, because a whole bunch of people in last year's election, we all voted for Trump. I was a long-life Democrat, and I voted for him, and I will vote for him again. There's a lot of people who support him here, but they're not exposed. They lie in the media, okay? Secondly, I'm really disappointed with the mayor of Chicago here, Lori Lightfoot, and that Chicago Sergeant Eddie Johnson. They caught him drinking, okay? He was drinking. They had caught him in a car or whatever. And then the fact that he said that he wasn't going to go and attend that conference because it wasn't in his moral whatever values, right? Well, the situation is, Anthony, that these people, these politicians, including the mayor of the city, they're nothing but disobedience to the law itself. And, you know, I'm Puerto Rican. Puerto Ricans consist of Spanish, Black, and Indian, okay? If you read your history, we have African, we have Spaniard, and we have Indian in us, okay? But I'm disappointed because I love all races, okay? I'm not against anyone. But it's true. These immigrants, we're a sanctuary city, and they're breaking the law here. And I'm disappointed how they treat the President of the United States. I think the President of the United States deserves his honor. And then the following day, after he did that conference, Anthony, I was disappointed because Barack and Michelle Obama came. And I'm going to tell you what happened. In their meeting, there was a whole bunch of white people. And Michelle Obama has got the nerve, and I hope she hears this, has got the nerve to say, oh, you know, in our day, it was a thing called the white flight. And you all white people are running from us and this, and that. And mind you, I am not prejudiced, okay? I've dated black men. I've dated whatever. I'm not married, but in my past, okay? And I'm telling you, I'm disappointed. There were white people sitting there. And she's literally insulting these people. I don't understand how in the world this city of Chicago, a lot of people want to move out of here. We're sick and tired of this Democrat garbage, how they lie to the people. The polls last year, a whole bunch of people voted for Trump. That's why he won. And they're disobedience. They break the police here. Beginning with Eddie Johnson, not all of them, because I got a friend, he's a cop, and he's saying that they can't do their job here because they limit them, okay, the sergeants and everything. But I want to say this, it is very disappointing that the mayor of Chicago, that some of the politicians, and this Eddie Johnson guy, they themselves are breaking the law. I don't mind illegal immigrants as long as they do it right. I have a whole bunch of Mexican friends, Puerto Ricans, blacks, Cubans, Honduran, and I just wanted to point that out, and I hope people are hearing that Chicago doesn't back up a lot of this garbage that these Eddie Johnson and the Lori Lightfoot are saying. We are not part of that. There's a whole bunch of Trump supporters here that we are not with them, and those values of these police, whatever, and the mayor breaking the law here is absolutely wrong. They are the ones who are in civil disobedience. And I just wanted to mention that. Is that okay, Anthony?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, that's all I wanted to make a comment. Did you want to say anything to that effect?
Now, you said it pretty well, so I don't have too much to add.
Okay, thank you so much, Anthony. I bless you. And listen, I know that a lot of people don't pray, but listen, we need to pray for President Donald Trump. God put it in my heart. I could see, I don't know if you understand, but I could see the warfare upon him. And I've been praying even for Judge Kavanaugh. And the fact that they killed Epstein, that's because they don't want a lot of these people exposed. That's why. But that's why they want to impeach him, because he's trying to investigate them. But that's my comment. Thank you, Anthony, and God bless you, and have a good night, and a shout-out to all your people on the chat, okay?
Thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, great call. Great way to kick it off. Absolutely. Shout out to the caller. Love that call. Shout out to all the Chicago Trump supporters. 100%. I appreciate y'all. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. All right, caller, on the line, 647. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, my name is Matt. How you doing?
Everything's great, man. How about yourself?
I'm good. I can't actually believe I got through. Honestly, I've been listening to your show for a long time. And big respect. I think our values line up pretty good, even though I'm a Canadian. I guess I'd refer to myself as a Western supremacist. Like, I think we got the best culture, you know, whatever you are, wherever you're from, you know, as long as you work hard, you persist, you know, as long as the government doesn't get in your way too much, you can make it. And I think that's the spirit that we're trying to protect in the West. And when you say stuff like that, because I think I know what this is really about. You're a racist. That's what this is. Because, you know, the people are coming in and you don't want them to get a piece of your pie. And that's it. And they try to turn it into that. But, you know, I think you know very well it's not like that. It's if you work hard, you should get to keep. You should get to eat what you hunted. You know? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, it's a unique place. Like, you know, America, Canada, you could come to these places and be what you want. When you go to other parts of the world, you know, older parts of the world, you go to some of these places where it was under like, you know, feud, like Japan, China, like it's not quite like that. It's not quite like that. It's harder to kind of like push forward, even in first world places. You go to India, Somalia, it's almost impossible. If you're born into a certain kind of a system, a caste or whatever, you're going to pretty much be there forever. In America,
yeah,
you can do so much. In North America, the West, where you can do so much for yourself and pull yourself up, you know, by the quote unquote bootstraps and become what you want. So, you know, I love it. I know guys that came from the penitentiary that have become millionaires legitimately. So, you know, that idea that you can do so much over here is beautiful, and I love it.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I caught you a little bit. You were in the Nick Fuentes with Lucas. Well, you were, you know, in the chat anyway. And the thing we just talked about, I think that pushes back on one of Nick's main points that he was trying to make, is that he was saying that, he was trying to like kind of equate culture and race in a way that I do not agree with. Like, for example, we have like Dinesh D'Souza coming over here. You got, you know, Thomas Sowell, Brigitte Gabriel. You got all these people that are saying, no, it's like the West first. This is the culture we need to maintain to be free and to live free. These are not white people. So I think that's what he gets wrong. And I agree with, I guess, the idea that if you were to just have, like, you know, a ton of illegal immigration from places where the culture is not accepting of that, where they want to come in and tell us what to do, instead of, you know, them showing up and, you know, respecting the rules of our house, because they're coming into our house, you know, we're giving them the privilege to live in our land. They should try to, you know, sort of integrate, you know. But now they're telling us, by the way, you're going to integrate to us. We're coming to your house and we're telling you how the new rules are. And I'm not okay with that. So I think a little bit of immigration, or at least maybe not, maybe I'm rephrasing it wrong. Immigration of people with the right values is what you want, but I don't think race should be on that ticket.
Absolutely, because one thing people don't understand, they kind of just don't mention in the immigration argument when they're trying to argue for less immigration. And to be clear, I'm not saying we should have just, you know, everybody in the world come here. There should be standards, and that's the whole point. People.
Well, yeah, but
yeah,
sorry,
people.
go ahead.
Yeah, immigrants come from all over the world to countries. A lot of times, it's a competition for these people. Okay, because like if you're able to get the most skilled, the most educated from different countries, why would you not want that? I don't understand. Like illegal aliens come over here, don't speak no English, they live off the government. That's something different. But people that are legitimate, they come here with skills, education. Why would you not want them? Now, I'm not saying everybody.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying everybody in the world
You
come
guys
here.
are doing it right in the U.S., by the way. You guys got a much better. I know you got your troubles with the border, but we take 3 times in Canada, 3 times as many immigrants per capita as the U.S. does. And on top of that, the average cost per immigrant in Canada is $6,000 for the immigrants that we took in over the last 20 years. That's not. I'm saying that's the average. Obviously, we got some productive ones, but we got Trudeau. Diversity is our strength up there. And he's just like, whatever. Here's the new deal. We're going to bring a bunch of people in off a boat who don't speak English, don't have any desire to integrate. They're going to retain their own culture and not learn anything over here. And then they're going to live off your dime. We're going to take your Canadian money and we're going to buy a house for them. And then they're going to live in public housing off your dime. And if you don't like it, it's because you're racist. And I don't agree with that at all. It should be the other way around. If we're taking them in, they should be contributing $6,000, not taking it.
Right.
And
exactly.
the thing you just said, that would do it. The productive, hardworking immigrants who don't commit crime and they want to blend in and live the Western dream, I'm all for that.
Exactly, 100%. That's what I'm all about. And people don't understand that these people are coveted all over the world to come to different places, and their skills and talents are, they're needed. Like you go to some of these doctors' offices, it'd be somebody from somewhere else because they're the best of the best in their field. Like if I have an operation and it's like life or death, I'm not going to be worried about, what race are they? Did they come from somewhere else? And do I have the best person available? That's what I'm talking about. And if America is able to get the best person available, that should be what we focus on rather than saying, it's got to be a racial thing because culture and voting and stuff like that. That's just people that think the opposite way just don't really think too deeply.
Yeah, and honestly, if you brought in a bunch of high-quality immigrants of different races, I think that would help fight racism, because if you bring in a bunch of Somalians and then they do a bunch of raping and killing, well, the racists are just going to say, oh, look at that, more N-words or whatever it happens to be. But if you had a filtration mechanism and then you got Nigerian doctors coming in, wow, that guy, he did a great job. And then their view of, I guess, races in general just gets elevated. But you get a bunch of illegal immigrants doing all this crime and stuff, you don't enforce the border, you get the worst of the worst. That just amplifies racial tensions, I think. And the left that's supposed to, love, I guess, look, they want, inequality is their thing that they're always complaining about. Explain to me how you're going to help inequality when you got black communities close to the border that get flooded with illegal immigrants, and now they're told when they apply for a Taco Bell job, they got to learn to speak Spanish. Why you got to learn to speak Spanish in the place you grew up in? It's ridiculous.
Correct. Exactly. 100%.
Okay, I think I ate up all your time, but I'm really glad I called in. You're a good man, ABL. I'm really happy that I follow you. And to anybody listening who's not subscribed, you got to do it, man. This is a great guy.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, have a good one, man.
All right, same to you. All right, shout out to the caller. That's 100% correct. Now, like I was saying in the call, I don't think we should have everybody in the world come here. Let's have a cap. I think Trump said he wants to take legal immigration from 1 million per year to about 500,000. Maybe that's the correct thing to do. Also, stop some of the abuse of the visa programs. A lot of them get abused in many different ways, not just H-1B, H-2B, but other ones that you don't know about. And also, what else? The illegal alien situation that's the problem, is the illegal alien situation. It ain't the legal people. I know people that have come here from Africa, $100,000 they're paying to get their family over here, taking years and years and years out their life to get here. It's not them you got to worry about. It's the people that are coming over here through chain migration, illegal. You got to look at the whole thing in a more holistic way, not just in a black and white, oh, you the wrong race. That's just kind of silly to think like that. Because if it's about race only, then why do so many people in UK why is it that people in UK have an issue with the Polish people that come into the country? F off, all this, that. People got to look a little bit different, look at things deeply and differently, understand that it's about trying to get the best and the brightest, not just a particular race. But let me get to my next call here. Okay, let's go. 416 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
I got Cigar Box hitting you with another Canadian.
All righty, Cigar Box. What's happening?
Not bad, man. I just wanted to address something that I'd forgotten about until that lady called in about Michelle Obama. She said something really stupid. Because when I listened to what she said, and I went back to your thing that you put up, somewhere about 3.5 minutes in, she said one by one they packed their bags and they left, leaving communities in shambles. How is white people leaving the community in shambles? She is now saying that it filled up with people who weren't white and the place fell apart.
Exactly. That's correct.
So she's saying in that statement, she's saying that they're right. They should leave because these people are going to tear it apart.
Right. So, from my point of view, it looks like Michelle Obama left a mostly black area because things weren't going right. The schools weren't good. She went to a white area, and then when more black folks came in, she wanted to leave again. So if she's talking about racism, I mean, who's pushing it, who's not? It seems like it's her, but she don't even really understand it because her whole mind is focused on trying to blame white people. She's not even seeing what she is doing herself.
Yeah, it's insane. She made an absolute fool of herself there. I had another thing about you were talking about the drug cartel, and somebody was saying if they made the drugs legal, then it would put the cartels out of business.
Mm-hmm.
Well, our government, like most governments, we recently made marijuana legal. And of course, who but our government could lose $440 million in a year selling dope?
Wait a minute. How did that happen?
I don't know. They're just absolutely brain dead. They handled it all wrong, and they lost a fortune, millions of dollars. How do you sell that and lose money? It's insane. But a government, of course, I'm assuming it's the bureaucracy that they set up around it, lost all that money. And so people, as it is, when you buy this pot, it costs a lot of money. People are now still buying black market because it's cheaper. So the cartels won't feel it at all. The governments are going to stick their hands into the middle of it. Like, take a look at Elizabeth Warren and what she wants to do with the healthcare thing. Like, how much money that's going to cost, and it's all going to be red tape garbage, right? This is where they're going to find out that they're better off without it, without this plan that she's got, this magic plan. Governments screw everything up. They never think of doing anything the right way because they don't personally have to answer to it like a private corporation does. Right? They don't, like a private corporation has to answer to its investors. Governments, they could just keep spending and going in the hole, and it doesn't matter. And so they just will. And I think that's what the problem is. And I don't think that simply legalizing it's going to make things go away. I think what's going to have to happen is the Marines go down in a wave and just keep going past everything through Mexico and cleaning everything up. That's about the only thing they can do. Possibly go into South America and say to them, this money that you get in aid, we'll double it. One-time shot that you get, we're going to go in there and destroy the coca fields. And anybody who's working on those coca fields is going to go with it.
See, that's right. You see, people just, what you said makes a lot of sense, especially about the whole thing of, people still getting their drugs for cheaper underground. The cartels are still operating. What legalizing or quote unquote decriminalizing drugs does, and when you couple that with the sanctuary cities, all it does is give the cartels what did the mayor of Baltimore, former mayor of Baltimore, say? Space to destroy. Because all they can just go and do whatever they want. They won't go to jail or nothing. They keep selling their drugs, abusing women, children, and they'll be fine. They won't be deported. They can just operate. They can just shut up shop right in your particular city, state, town, in Canada or the U.S., and nothing will happen to them.
Yep, no punishment whatsoever. It actually makes things worse.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyhow, I think I better go and let some of my fellow Americans on. It's been a little Canadian so far, and I'll talk to you later. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye.
Thank you to my man Cigar Box for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And shout out to my man Jericho Green in the chat. He gave me a super chat. I'm going to read it right quick. Jericho Green says, we need to give the cartel some lead in their diet. You do great work, ABL. I thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. And yeah, get on that lead-based diet. Not plant-based, not keto, whatever. Straight lead and handle it that way. Ain't no other way. Legalizing drugs, I mean, come on. What's that going to do? Just allow them to operate in plain sight without even being afraid of getting locked up or deported? It's silly. But thank you to my man for Jericho Green for the donation. And if you guys are not subscribed to Jericho Green, go ahead and do so. You know, great guy, great content on YouTube. And congrats on the 100,000, man, getting your award or whatever, man. Congrats on that. But shout out to Insight of the Ages, who says, would you want to serve time for a crime your dad committed? Reparations are no different. They're acting like Christ died for nothing. Let's forgive. Exactly. Like, nobody alive today is responsible for or was a slave. So it doesn't make any sense for us to keep like going down this road talking about this tired subject over and over and over again. But let me get to the next call. 808 on the line. Who am I speaking to? Turn your speakers down, please. All right, 808. Don't get cold feet now. don't get cold feet. Okay, let me get to the next call. 617 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, it's Ivan, man.
All right, Ivan, what's going on?
Your callers, man, they ignorance out of proportion, man. They don't understand nothing why Mexico has so much drugs, and they don't know the past. So you need to read about the CIA operation. It's in PBS, how the drugs with the Colombian cartel, and Mexico didn't have any cartel, and what is happening. But I don't want to talk about that. That's something that you got to do. You say educate yourselves. It's very important because you kind of misleading everybody misleading the audience. Okay, so what I want to talk about is the whistleblower. Paul Ryan was talking about. Ron Paul was talking about we should give the name, we should release the name of the whistleblower, trying to face the accuser, and we should go through the subpoena. Well, what he doesn't talk about is those who already be giving testimony about the situation. Bill Taylor, George Kent, William, what is his name? Ryan, the guy from the National Security Advisor. So if why we should focus on the whistleblower when there's already enough evidence that people will testify, and it wasn't only one time thing. It was pretty much happened several times that Trump said that he will hold the aid to the Ukraine in exchange if
he said that.
He will. Well, they say that. That's what the Williams said.
Nope.
The tested people a bit. Well, that's what they said.
Wrong. Read the transcript.
No, but no. But the transcript have nothing.
Oh, you
to do.
don't read that, huh? But you tell me to read some.
No,
things.
no. I read.
You said read things. You want me to read things? Okay, I see.
Okay. But
I gotta read it, but you don't gotta read it. Got it.
Okay, but this no. I read it. I read the summary. It wasn't even a transcript. But okay. So people who are giving the testimony, there are guys at this from West Point that pretty much give up his life for this country. Andrew, Bill Taylor, George Kent. So all of them are lying. That's what you're saying. That all of them they're making up stories on their own, sacrificing their careers. That's what you're saying.
Well, I don't know I don't know if they're lying or they're just misinformed. All I know is that the transcript does not say what they're saying it says.
Well, that's not the transcript. That's the summary. But
so where's the transcript at then?
Well, it's in a secure server. They have a stenographer.
So
that pretty much
who said it was not the transcript?
Huh?
Who said it was not the transcript?
Who said the transcript? They said this information, what the summary that he presented, is inconsistent for what he says. So that means there's more information. That means there's more information, right?
But who said that is what I'm asking you.
Oh, Bill Taylor said that.
So, I mean, did he give specifics as to what was inconsistent with what he heard?
Well, he did say. He did say that whatever he said, whatever's in the when he read the summary, he said, "No, this is inconsistent with what really said." And
Okay.
he said it several times because
But
they reported.
the question I had to you was, did he say what was inconsistent? Because he can say it
Well,
was inconsistent. Hold on. Let me get the question out. He can say it was inconsistent, but maybe he says, "Oh, there were two words that I heard that were not in the transcript."
No,
Would that totally change the nature of the whole transcript?
No, his open statement was that pretty much he withheld the funds until you find something on Biden, and then until you find something, the connection between Russia and not Russia, but how the investigation started. That's one of the things. So pretty much he wanted to discredit the pretty much the investigation for the Mueller report. That's one thing, and then he wanted to discredit Biden. That's the two. That was his two objectives in withheld of the 8. Now, that's one thing. Number two, why the Congress approved for the 8, the almost $400 million, right? They approve it. Okay, so that means that it's been approved, has to be released. He said he did the transaction. I won't give you the 8 until you find something. When the whistleblower came out, well, it's Trump say that.
Who said that he said that?
So, that's what the testimony from Taylor, from George Kent.
Oh, so the transcript says one thing, but these other guys say that's what he said. So you just believe that over the actual written words in front of you. I got it, but go ahead.
Oh, well, let me give you another connection. The fund, the aid was held in the U.S., right? It wasn't released. When the whistleblower came out, the aid
was released.
No, the aid was not released until the whistleblower came out. When the whistleblower came out,
it was before
then,
that.
It was not the thing was approved in June or something. The thing was released in September. So he waited until whistleblower came out and they released the money.
So when did he come out?
I think it was September or something. I can't remember.
Do you know the dates? I mean,
I can't remember.
You're not really.
I'm not a computer, but I'm not a computer.
I mean, you're saying the information. You're saying that. Wait. Hold on. You said that the whistleblower said a thing, and then that's when the aid was released. But you don't even know. But wait. You don't even know. Wait, sir. I'm talking. Don't try to overtalk me. I'm gonna mute you. You said that the aid was released when whistleblower came out. And then I asked you, well, when did he come out? I don't know. When was aid released? I don't know. Sometime in September. Your facts ain't lining up really right. But now you're gonna be back. Now you're gonna be able to talk. So go ahead.
Oh, because I know this is true because it was on Fox News.
But you can't even tell me what the dates were. So you just got to.
Okay, so I'm gonna call you on Saturday. Right. I'm gonna give you the dates. Let's continue. So now what is the National Security Advisor John Bolton? He won't testify. Why he won't testify?
He don't want to.
After he said he doesn't want to testify. Doesn't want to be involved in it. And he was involved in the call. Why doesn't want to testify? Why John Bolton want to testify? And Rick Perry doesn't want to testify. Why they are so afraid to testify?
He don't want to. Does he have to? Is he required?
Well, if it's required, but he say he won't testify.
Okay, so if you don't want to, then that's my choice.
Why are they so afraid? Why?
You don't got to be afraid to decline the thing just because if somebody says, "Hey, you want to testify?" I'm like, "No, I'm good." You gonna attack me and say I'm afraid?
No,
maybe I just don't want to.
Wrong. If the call was perfect, if nothing is wrong, then you want to testify. Giuliani is refusing to testify. What is the refusing?
But why do I got to take time out of my day, out of my life for a thing I'm not required to do?
Nothing to do with tax time out of the day. Look, when they hit Hillary with the emails, this thing lasted 4 years. Fast and Furious lasted 6 years of investigation. The IRS lasted 3 years of investigation. So what seems to be the problem now?
It didn't make any sense. I don't understand what your point is.
So my point is that there were people who testified during the emails. They were testified for years. It was an investigation with Fast and Furious for 6 years during the Obama administration. It was when they did the IRS scandal was 3 years. And what's the other one? The people from Benghazi, lasted 5 years. So if all these people testify for all this long, why now they're obstructing justice to ignoring subpoenas? Why they're ignoring materials that they were?
How about this though? If it lasted for that long, why would you get involved with that if you don't have to? It doesn't make any sense. For 5 years,
What if it doesn't make any sense?
Hold on. Look, I'm gonna talk, sir. I'm gonna talk, sir. Like, if you saw that another trial lasted for 5 years, back and forth to court, all this, that, and the third, it's like, look, man, I got a job, I got kids, I got a life. I ain't trying to be in court all day long for this useless thing that's not even going to go nowhere. What's the point in doing this when I don't have to? If I'm not required to go, I don't want to go through all of that. It's just unnecessary. Taking time out of my day, out of my life, years out of my day and my life for what? Nothing. So if it's not a thing that I have to go to, if it's not illegal for me to decline, I'm going to decline, and I'm going to just take my time back for myself. How about that?
So that I'm in there now, or was on hold? Okay, now this is the federal government that so many subpoenas for you for these people to testify. John Bolton described this problem as a hand grenade that will blow up anytime, and just blow up now. So pretty much, and I know the Republicans won't vote for it because they want to protect Trump. I understand. They want to protect their seat. They don't care about the Constitution. They care about their seat. That's why I believe what AOC said. We need term limits, 2 terms, and that's it. So avoid these kind of problems. Because now they're the majority, and they don't want to testify. They don't want to. They don't want to come forward and protect the Constitution. All right, so that's fine.
I got to cut you right here. So thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
So you.
All right. Have a nice. There we go. All right. You can't be on the phone all night, sir. I got other calls on the line. Thank y'all for calling. I definitely appreciate you. Yeah. If somebody said, "Hey, ABL, you could be testifying in this trial that you know won't go nowhere because it's nothing burger for the next, I don't know, 5 years out of your life." You got to dedicate all kind of time, energy, getting grilled by these random numbnuts on Capitol Hill over nothing. Do you want to do it for free? I'm not getting paid. I got a life to live. Why would I want to do that? For what? If I don't have to, why would I want to? It's silly. Alrighty, but let me get to my next call here. And that'll be 808. You on the line. Who am I speaking to? 808, you got to tighten up because I'm answering the call. You're not, you know what I mean? I'm trying to be good here to people. Let me get to the next call. It's 609. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Good evening, ABL.
Evening. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, this is Charles speaking from North Carolina.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Doing well. Yourself?
Everything's going good, man. Hey, I got a little bit of feedback in the background. It might be your speakers on. Turn that down for me.
All right. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't. My remote's not working too well, so I'm moving to another room.
Okay.
Maybe the main reason why I'm calling is mainly pertaining to the Mexico massacre, or at least that's the way I perceive it.
Okay.
I'm just curious why has the president of Mexico actually tried to actually employ us or the United States to help them deal with these drug cartels? I mean, I understand.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead. Keep going.
I understand what the Mexican president says, like, hey, we tried war, but it didn't work. But here's the thing. Well, how about you try war with the most powerful military on the planet in your corner?
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I think that the problem with the cartels is much deeper because a lot of them are intertwined with the government. It's a really deep issue. So, and I think that they know if they were to go to war with the cartels, it'd be a lot of more dead bodies than they have already. It's already a violent country. So maybe that's the reason, or like I said, since a lot of the cartel are in government, the president could be covering for them. Who knows? I can't really call it at this particular point in time.
Well, in that aspect, I hate to say it, that gives more reason why we should be involved. We are not bought and paid for. We're completely neutral.
Yeah, I mean go ahead.
I mean, I personally have served for 20 years. I'm retired. I've been in Iraq twice, and I've been in Afghanistan twice. I do not like the desert. I do not like going to war. But in this sort of circumstance, I mean, that problem going down there with the drug cartels is flowing into our country with narcotics, drug trafficking, border crossing, you name it. I mean, it's really, truly affecting us. I mean, I have zero problem sending a few people over, or say 50, 100, 500 even maximum, to go down there and, some people with some very specialized gear that know how to go into the very dark of night and go pew pew and make a whole camp go dead, aka Baghdadi, and just give them a little help. It's like, yeah, we're gonna help you alleviate the issue.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, but see, I think at that point now you'd be kind of like, would you consider that to be like foreign intervention, or would that be something else?
I don't know, honestly, because that sounds a little more of a legal issue. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong, I'm all about, the Mexican government saying, hey, give us a green light. Because otherwise, in my personal opinion, I would understand, like, yeah, we are technically invading another country. In my personal opinion, that would be morally wrong. But I really wish the Mexican president would actually reconsider and say, hey, we're going to do this with more or less special operations, and we're just going to help you, just de-arm them, cut them down, so your military can build up and actually do the business.
Right.
And also the simple fact that with being there, I mean, it may actually improve government relations, like foreign policy, that sort of thing, and trade or whatever in the future. Possibly, hopefully, yes. And it would, in my personal opinion, benefit us. And we're not too far away, not like 6,000 miles.
Right.
I was just curious, what your opinion on it? I mean, because, let's be honest. I mean, I'll be honest personally. Yeah, it was a family of Americans. Even if it truly was 100% pure non-American family, like just women and children, babies, to me, I don't care who you are, who you call God, what language you speak, this, that, and the other. But I'm sorry, when you start mass murdering babies, you really hit a nerve with me personally. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you, but it's kind of a complicated thing because Mexico was violent in general. I've been down to the border. I heard stories about the cartel putting people, setting them on fire, putting them in canisters of acid. It's very violent down there, and people just don't really see it because it doesn't really affect them. Now they got the Americans. It brings it to our attention and highlights it to the world, and we all stand up and take notice. But this is kind of like daily life for them, especially dealing with the drug cartels. That's just kind of how it is down there. So I'm not really sure what we can actually do. We can go down there and try to fight, but the Mexican government itself is, like, in many ways complicit. So it's like, you're going to fight the Mexican government too? It's just kind of a hard thing to really tackle. I don't really know what the solution is, honestly. Maybe if there's some assistance we can give to Mexico that does not necessarily involve boots on the ground from us, maybe we can give it. But aside from that, I don't really know what the solution is.
My personal recommendation would be more like what we have done with Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan, mainly utilizing special forces. Because you have to admit, even in those sort of countries, the government those politicians in those governments were paid off by warlords, the Taliban, etc. Money is money. So I would probably try to utilize that sort of similar strategy. We utilize more or less like special forces, Navy SEALs, etc., and supporting them. I mean, I really don't like the idea of it actually like all 3rd Infantry Division completely deploying to Mexico. But special forces, like, hey, this compound of El Chapo owned, whatever the case may be, we don't have the capability to really take it out. We send in a few Blackhawks with a few special people, and, people just wind up dead.
Yeah.
You get the point.
Right. I'm with you.
I mean, that, like, more of a support role, but hey, we really can't do this. So can you go ahead and, just, because y'all can do this, but we'll take care of the little more lower ends. And furthermore, like if Mexico actually captures an actual really high level person like El Chapo's son, like the like a month ago they did. Send that person to the United States. Let the drug cartel come to us. Let them fight our people in our turf. See what happens.
Yeah, that's gonna be something. That'd be a rough one there. I can't even really predict how that would play out. But I see your point.
I mean, you put El Chapo on Fort Bragg and let the drug cartel attack Fort Bragg and see what happens.
Yeah,
it's not going to end well.
Yeah, true.
It won't. That sort of thing. I mean, that right there are some of the possibilities that could come up. But I mean, as I said, I really would like the Mexican president to actually rethink about this. I mean, he wants to go hugs. I'm sorry, hugs don't deal. You can't hug a monster.
Yeah, that's true, man. I'm with you, man. But I got a few more calls on the line, so I thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
All right, good night.
All right, now. All right, shout out to the caller. Hey, I feel where he's coming from, man. You see stuff like that, innocent men, women, and children especially. It's really unfortunate. But shout out to AMTs for becoming a member of the ABL supporter club. I definitely appreciate you. And thank you to Demented Laker for becoming an ABL supporter. I appreciate you guys. If you guys want to join and get some of the cool little emojis, like I'm going to update the emojis and all that kind of good stuff very soon. And just different things. If you want to become a member to the channel, click on the super chat button. And I think below super chat, I can't see it because I'm already, it's me, the admin. But I think under super chat, it should be a spot where it says member. You can click right there and you can subscribe to 3 different tiers of membership per month. You could pay like, $2.99, $1.99, $5.99, no, $4.99 and then $9.99. So if you want to do that, and you can also send stickers. You can pay to send stickers. That's something new. I didn't even know you could do that. Okay, that's interesting. Alrighty. Let me go ahead and get to my next call here. And thank y'all for calling. I definitely appreciate you. The number to call is 434-658-1220. 831, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yo, what's going on, ABL? This is Jericho Green, man.
Jericho Green, my man. What's happening?
Hey, not much, bro. I appreciate what you do. Another stellar video, I guess you could call this, as usual.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Who the hell was that dude?
You talking about Ivan?
Yeah. It's funny people, talk about the president and how as Americans, we're so ignorant to what's going on. But I guarantee you one thing, he wasn't calling from Mexico. I guarantee you that. That was an American phone number he was calling from. And
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, man. The cartel, look, they have a once in a life. They have a golden ticket right here to rid themselves of this problem. And it's funny how the Mexican president could turn down and say he doesn't want any foreign intervention. Obviously, he can't handle it. They're having shootouts in the middle of town at 1 p.m, like it's the Wild Wild West. They gave back El Chapo's son. When's the last time an American police department gave somebody back because they were scared of who he was related to?
I've never seen that. Man. Never seen that in my life, ever.
Bruh, and our American police forces have arrested some pretty high-profile people, and that has never happened because somebody's in control. No, the only people in control down there are the cartels. And why the president of Mexico wouldn't take this help? I mean, why not? You're going to end up getting your head cut off anyway. I mean, isn't that the retirement plan for Mexican officials? You know what I mean?
Pretty much, because
what do you have to lose, bruh?
Right, exactly. Because you're scared of them. I mean, you're gonna end up killed anyway. It could be over some kind of little petty dispute. You then put some new law in the books, or anything you do down there as an official can get you killed. So you have, like you said, man, nothing to lose.
You send out the wrong tweet, they're sending the death squad for you. Sometimes if you can't handle it, you got to call in some help. You got to call in your big brother to the north. And really, I wouldn't consider us foreign influence. I mean, come on, man. We're neighbors. You know what I mean? We've been swapping spit for a long time. We're not a foreign government. We're here to help. And it helps everybody. It helps the people along, in the border towns, even in Los Angeles. For the cartels to be curtailed or extinguished or whatever, it helps everyone. And I'm sure the people of Mexico who live under their rule, who live with the threat of that violence. I mean, no lie, man. I go to the east side of a town that I live in, and there's a lot of migrant workers there. So a lot of the stores have a lot of the things they have in Mexico, and they have these magazines there. And on the cover of these magazines are murder scenes of, you know, cartel hits. And I mean, no blurring out, no pixelating the pictures. It's straight decapitation and all the horrible things that these cartels visit upon those people. And I hate to see the Mexican government taking a page out of some of our government's book to where they ignore their constituents. They ignore the people who put them in power. And down there, it seems to me that ignoring those people is far more deadly than it is here. So the best thing for him to do is take this olive branch that's being extended to you, step aside, let us send some highly trained people down there to do what they do. You do not want to be on the business end of the United States military. You just don't.
Hey, I'm with you on that one. But see, I think the question would be, what if he's adamant? He's saying, we don't want the help. We don't want to be, quote unquote, occupied anymore by the U.S. We're not going to give you, we're not going to accept the help. Should we just go down there regardless and go ahead and do that?
No, I don't think so, man. They are a sovereign nation. You know, they are their own people, but nothing's to stop us from putting our forces on our side of the fence.
Yeah, true.
Nothing's to stop us from, you know, from putting some National Guard down there or whatever. We can still protect our side of the yard. And if they step foot over here, man, it's going to be all bad. But no, if they want to refuse to help and they want to continue to have their people live in terror and fear and murder and violence and abject poverty, then, I mean, what can we do? You can lead the horse to water. You know what I mean?
That's right. 100%. Can't make them drink.
Well, thanks, man. You keep up the good work, ABL. I will definitely be watching and listening, man. You're doing great work. I appreciate it. You're one of the inspirations for me to start doing what I do, man. So I really appreciate it. And keep it up, bro.
All right, thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. And before you go, tell everybody how to get to your channel, which is blowing up right now. I see you hit 100,000. Congratulations on that. You got your plaque and everything. I'm definitely proud of you, man. Tell everybody how to get to your channel.
Hey, first of all, thank you, man. I'm just trying to hit those ABL numbers. You know what I mean? That's what I'm shooting for. But yeah, man. My YouTube channel, Jericho Green. I got a Facebook page under the same name. I got my PayPal, the link, and for the Teespring, you know, to get the green gear. It's all in the description box of my videos. Or shoot me an email, jerichogreen2018@gmail.com, man. And thanks again.
All right, man. Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, peace.
All right. Shout out to Jericho Green. Great YouTuber. If you're not subscribed already, I don't know what you're doing. He's blowing up. I saw you had the 100,000, the plaque. He's at 163. He's blowing all the way up. So shout out to him. A lot of people are wondering, how can you become successful on YouTube? How can you make it on YouTube? You got to be a good personality. You got to have the gift of gab. You got to have some people like about you. You know, people like Jericho, Brandon, etc. They got it. That's why they are successful. That's why they're doing what they are doing pretty big on the platform. You got to have it. All right. And shout out to my man Carl's Opinion for the super chat. Definitely appreciate him. That's what I was talking about just now on the call. I'll read it right quick. He said, it is too politically hot for Mexico President Lopez Obrador to allow U.S. troops to enter Mexico. We occupied the place 100 years ago, and they still talk about it. That's why he keeps talking about their sovereignty. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. It's a point, but at the same time, it's like, hey, if you need the help, take it. If you don't, then that's going to be a big problem. But I understand the sovereign country part. And thank you to Sir Arnie for becoming an ABL supporter. I definitely appreciate you. Did I get everybody that I needed to get? I think so. Let's go ahead and get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Let's go. 847, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Griff Daddy. I just want, the whole Mexico thing, I guess, I think everybody feels for what happened there. I mean, just like we see that anywhere, right?
Okay.
But I think the problem is it's a sovereign country. Unless they want us there, we shouldn't go there. And the next piece is the military is not a police force. It's very indiscriminate. I mean, when we look at some of the problems that happened in the Middle East, where a lot of civilians died, there's a lot of civilians in those countries that are not very appreciative of the United States. There's a lot that are. A lot of our enemies have used that to drum up very strong anti-American sentiment. You send the military into Mexico, there will be a lot of civilian deaths. That's unavoidable because it's not a scalpel. They are not a police force. You're using a broadsword to do surgery. That's just, I mean, yeah, you'll get in at those organs, but there's going to be a problem. There's going to be hell to pay for that. So I would be reluctant, too, if I was the Mexican president. And don't get me wrong, at the same time, I kind of think they've got a problem with his own constituency, if not himself. How many of them were paid by the cartels?
Correct.
I mean, so, I mean, he's mired in pain no matter which way he goes. So, I mean, asking the United States for help, I would only talk to the United States for help if that started to become a law enforcement interdiction, not U.S. military. Like, can I have the FBI assist me here? Can I have intelligence officials from the United States help? But asking for U.S. military personnel to suddenly be boots on the ground, that's a huge problem, and it's going to do nothing but cause problems for the United States and bog us down in another thing. That's just, why are we there? But they do have a problem, and we should. I understand seeing kids getting killed like that. I feel for that first caller before Jericho. I feel that too. But I even brought up in your mentions earlier. Look at the Middle East right now. Every day, children are murdered. Every day, there are thousands of terrorist events that happen that are Islamic on Islamic crime. People blowing up vests in a market, things like that. That's indiscriminate killing. Those are kids. Those are women. Those are, there was events in Iraq where 100 people were killed. You know that there were women and children in there. And that's not even counting the wounded. People walking into churches. Think about in Britain, where that guy, did that thing at the I'm trying to remember the event, but it was just basically little girls going to see, some little teeny bopper thing, and then this guy decides to pull off a suicide event. I mean, those are kids, so it happens. We can't get totally distracted by that. You know what I mean? There's got to be a greater good, and unless Mexico wants us there, I can't see us. I can't agree with going there. They have to be part of the solution.
Right, I understand. I see where you're coming from.
All right, yeah, that's really what my feel on that. Because like I said, I heard everybody talking about that, and unfortunately, it's bad. It feels bad, but we got to be part of it. We can only be a good neighbor to them if we're invited.
But there you go, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All righty. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. And you guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. All right, caller, you on the line, 239. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, yeah, my name is Trav. Hello?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Hello? Oh, what's up, man? Hey, I'm glad to holler at you. I've been watching the show for a while, and I'm like you, man. Like, being a black person who used to be Democratic and come up, like, being pro-black and all that. If anybody think that it's hard being a black person, imagine being a black Trump supporter. But that being said, I want to get to the point, though. I wonder why too many people don't, excuse me, they don't talk too much about the Mexican racial thing with the blacks over there, like in California. I don't know if it's like a big thing or not, but no one ever talk about it. And I'm always reading about like how they always killing the blacks and real racist towards them moving in their neighborhoods.
Well, yeah, it's a problem. Now, what I will say is that you got a lot of places in California where you can pretty much get along with everybody, Mexicans, blacks, but in some places it ain't like that. Mexican hoods, where black folks, it just clash. You got the Mexican gangs clashing with the black gangs. It's a problem. So it's not just like they come over here and it's all lovey-dovey. It ain't quite that way. Really, they're more focused on themselves first, and everybody else is just whatever. They don't really care. They speak Spanish. They're not really, especially the illegal aliens. That's who you really got to look out. They come over here.
Yeah, that's the ones I'm talking about, man.
Yeah. They come over here
not
illegally.
Yeah.
Right. That's the problem right there. They come over here legally, then they're more likely to be cool because they had to spend money and spend time, so they're not going to be on some gang banging type of stuff. But they're coming over here illegally. You could have like MA, you could have MS-13, all that kind of stuff over here, and they're not going to be friendly to you at all.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about, the illegal ones. Because, you know, a lot of times when people talk about immigrants, they try to make it as if you just hate immigrants. It's the illegal immigrants that people talking about, man. It's the illegal ones.
Exactly. That's a problem. That's where all the crime and stuff is coming from. If you're coming over here legally, you good. You spend money, time. You coming over here illegally, you already committed the crime of coming over here illegally to begin with. So from the beginning, you wrong.
And I just got out of prison not too long ago. I had to do my time when I broke the law. So, hey, it's what it is.
Exactly. I was saying that to somebody before, to my friend. Matter of fact, he just came home too. He did 6. He just came home, and I was telling him about how I was supporting Trump, and he was asking me why. I'm like, look, if you go in somebody's house, you break in it, right? You ain't take nothing, you ain't do nothing. But you just in the house, and the police come, they find you. But you gonna be like, oh nah, I was just trying to find a better life. They're gonna be like, nope, hands behind your back, or you gonna get shot. Come with us.
Yeah.
So why is that the way it is? But you come over to the country illegally, break in, and be like, nah, I got rights. Get your hands off me. That ain't how it go.
Yeah, for real. But boy, I'm not gonna lie, man. It's hard to be somebody that's from the hood and support Trump, man. It's crazy. No matter how much facts you hit them with, and so when you really look at the values of the black person, even when you look back, you know, it's like we really conservatives. It's just that we treat like we really conservative. But it's like the media, they have you so brainwashed, and they play on racism and emotions and all that type of stuff. And I just posted something. It was something, you know, the thing that happened. I think his name Kurt Suzuki.
Yeah, the baseball player.
I was on a sports thing, and and you know, all I said was, you know what I'm saying, the great President Trump, he's great. Man, I got called so many coons that fell out. It was a shame, man. But it don't bother me, though, man, because I know I'm going to stand by what I stand by. I know the facts. I know the truth. I used to be brainwashed. You know what I'm saying? One day I hope they wake up, too, but it's what it is, man. Trump 2020, man.
That is, man, 100%.
Yeah, but y'all keep up the good work, man. I watch everything you do, man, all y'all. And that Jericho Green, man, look here, man. I caught the tail end because I had to, I walked off to do something and came back. Man, Jericho Green, he the real deal, man. He real funny, but he on point, though. But absolutely. I like all y'all, man, that's doing y'all thing, the black conservative. You know, Americans, period, but, you know, specifically like to see black people going against all that liberal ideology because they don't, you know, and even if you look back in the days, Malcolm warned us about the black and white liberals, you know what I'm saying, how tricky they are. So I'm just glad to see people think like me, man.
Hey, 100%, man. It's a lot of us out here, man. You're going to keep on coming out, doing our thing.
Yeah. I like saying y'all Trump be having y'all all at the White House doing all. Come on, man. Y'all accessible.
Yep.
Real.
Yep.
Well, all right, then. I'm glad that I got through, though, man. I watch you all the time. Everything you do, I'm watching it, man.
And thank you
all right, man. Keep up the good work, though, brother.
Hey, will do, man. Appreciate you.
All right.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. And speaking of black conservatives, black Trump supporters, hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up on my screen. I'll be in Atlanta Friday, this Friday the 8th. And let me see if I can put it up. Hold on. It might be kind of hard to see. This is invite only, so this is not like an open thing. I got invited. This is going to be President Trump to launch Black Voices for Trump coalition on Friday, November 8th in Atlanta, Georgia. And it might be kind of hard to read right here, so I'll read it real quick before we get back to the calls. It says President Donald J. Trump will be in Atlanta, Georgia to launch Black Voices for Trump, a coalition dedicated to recruiting and activating Black Americans in support of his reelection this Friday, November 8th, 2019. The program will begin at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And here's a quote. It says, Black Americans have never had a better champion than President Trump, said Katrina Pearson, senior advisor at Donald J. Trump for President Incorporated. The Black Voices for Trump coalition will be a national effort to mobilize and empower Black Americans who support President Trump to help get the message of promises made, promises kept into communities across America. Under President Trump, employment for African Americans has reached historic lows, and nearly 1.4 million new jobs have been added for African Americans. Black Americans' strong support for President Trump will ensure a second term for the president. So that'll be in Atlanta. Yes, we're going to be in ATL. I have my suit and tie on, but you'll see some MAGA hats in Atlanta. And I'm going to be back in Atlanta for the Black Shirt Rally with Candace Owens, David Harris Jr., Brandon Tatum, Terrence Williams, Rob Smith, my dog. Everybody's going to be there. So Atlanta, hey, you're going to see a lot of Black Trump supporters around. And this thing here, this is going to really spread far and wide. So be on the lookout for that. I'll be taking pictures and videos and stuff on both days, on Friday and also Sunday when I'm there. And I won't miss any shows because I'll be back for Saturday. And then I won't be leaving to go back to Atlanta till Sunday. So everything will be pretty much as normal. But let me get back to the calls. All right, let's go to 732. You know the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Nicholas again, man.
All right, man. What's going on?
Hey, I want to talk to you about. Well, first of all, I'm pretty upset that I wasn't the guy that got to get on after Jericho because Jericho's my man. But when you were talking about the unfortunate death of the gentleman out in Maryland at the Popeyes, you said that Zaxby's is the best, and we're about to have a debate, you and I.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Well, we're on. So I've been to Chick-fil-A. I've been to Zaxby's. Well, by the way, I've had the Popeyes burger. I've had it the normal, and I've had the spicy. They're both terrific, by the way. They ain't worth dying for, but I've also had Slim Chickens. And I don't know if you've heard of Slim Chickens.
No, I never heard of them.
All right. Well, Slim Chickens, they're kind of an upstart. I'm out in Missouri. I'm in the military. I'm at Fort Leonard Wood, but they're in Missouri right now. They're in Lebanon, Missouri, and Fort Leonard Wood. I believe they might have a place out in Rolla, Missouri as well. And they are fantastic, by the way. But so since you don't know them, we're gonna go straight up Chick-fil-A, Zaxby's. You're on Zaxby's side.
Yes.
Okay, so you're on Zaxby's side. All right. So are you going Zaxby's the chicken or the chicken plus the sauce? Because I'm going straight chicken
okay.
on Chick-fil-A.
See,
I'm going straight chicken on Chick-fil-A.
Okay, see, the chicken by itself, you might have an edge, maybe. But the Zaxby's, I don't know, because the Zaxby's, I'm talking about it holistically. You see what I'm saying? Because when I go to Zaxby's, I get the chicken finger plate, the 4-finger plate. I get the Texas toast, the Zax sauce, the seasoned fries. The whole thing together, to me, is better than a Chick-fil-A meal with the lemonade, the chicken sandwich, waffle fries, and whatever kind of sauce they give you. But
and
the chicken
smile on everybody's face.
But it's not like chicken. They're not bad. They're good. I love Chick-fil-A. Don't get it twisted. I go to both. The breakfast Chick-fil-A is great, especially chicken biscuit, spicy biscuit is great. The chicken by itself at Chick-fil-A may be a little bit better than Zaxby's, but not by much. But the whole meal, Zaxby's got it.
All right. Well, see, you know what? You're right. You're better at debating than I am because I will agree holistically. Zaxby's has got the game locked down. But customer service, chicken, like the bare bones chicken, it's got to be Chick-fil-A.
You know what?
Have you seen the videos? Have you seen the videos of people in the drive-thru where there's like a line of people taking their orders and walking it out to them?
Yeah,
and they get it before they even get to the window.
Yeah, I seen that, and then I seen situations where I saw one situation where somebody dropped their phone in the manhole. And then a Chick-fil-A employee got in the manhole and got the phone out. And then when he came out of the hole, had a big giant smile on his face, like it was nothing going on, like it was nothing wrong. So yeah, their service is like is second to none.
Oh man, he better wash his hands though.
Yeah, for real, because you're making that chicken. Hey, you been in the ground. You wash your hands.
Hey man, it's a thrill every time I get to talk to you, man. Like I said, good promotion for Jericho. Jericho's my guy. Everybody out there, Jericho Green, get on him. Go to the Teespring, get his stuff, get his gear, subscribe, like, thumbs up, all that stuff. Hey, if you haven't done it, do it for ABL too.
There it is, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Talk to you later, man.
All right, now take care. All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. But yeah, Zaxby's, that's the wave. If you've never been to Zaxby's Chick-fil-A, just go. Just, you know, I try to eat pretty well, but you know, Zaxby's on Wednesday, that's my day where I can just do that. You know. Tomorrow I'll probably have some grilled chicken breast with some broccoli and some rice, you know, something that's pretty decent. And I only do one meal a day. That's something different though. So that's a whole different conversation. Let me get to my next call. All right, Victor, what's happening?
Oh, thanks for taking my call.
Hey, no problem.
Can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so anyway, it's been a long time.
Yeah, man. How's everything going? You straight?
Yeah, it's been well. You know, I just had my second child and stuff.
Oh, congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I'm talking a little low because everyone's asleep.
A boy or girl?
A boy this time.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah. So and I know last time I was on here, a lot of people were saying, "Where's the hat? Where's the hat?" Well, my hats are packed up right now because I have to move. My family came back. I moved in town with me, but I did get me a new hat.
There we go. I love it.
Yeah, and this is a special one because I bought this right in front of my mom.
Oh wow! What was her reaction when you bought it?
Man, the Trump derangement syndrome is real. Yeah, and the cashier was a black woman.
Wow, hilarious. So she was just torn to pieces. Her son is right here buying the hat. It's a black lady selling it to you. It's just so much going on. It's hard to process.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and you know I had to get the red one because you know I have the blue, the white, and now the red.
There you go. Get all the colors of the flag. Perfect.
Yeah. So I had to bless my mouth today to remind myself that there are sane people that go and buy chicken sandwiches.
Man, have you seen all the stuff? I mean, over a sandwich, people getting stabbed, killed, people about to get ran over, beat down over a chicken sandwich.
And the crazy thing is that Popeyes stopped selling their chicken sandwich temporarily. You know, tried to get a handle of all this. I heard more security or whatever, and they still can't get it right.
No, they can't get it right because it's too much. People are just crazy. Like they're trying to get the supply up, but the demand is just so high, and the demand is also just kind of ridiculous. People don't know how to handle themselves. People online getting 10 sandwiches. It's like, what you trying to resell the sandwiches in the hood? You trying to go sell it for like $2 more? I mean, what are we doing? It was crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Also, it reminds me of the Boondocks, one of the Boondock shows, where Pops, Granddad, opened up a restaurant, and they were fighting over a chicken sandwich. So Boondocks is just, I think Boondocks predicted this.
Yeah, they did. They right up on it. They see it all, and you know the R. Kelly situation. They saw that too. They know because it's kind of at a certain point predictable, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, the cartel thing. I hope people realize why it is not okay to have open borders.
Right.
After that. Yeah, I mean, because you see how bad the cartel is. And then you mentioned about how things are being smuggled. So you want to have open borders with next to a country with a high gang rate rate, and you don't want to screen anybody to come into the country.
Right, exactly. I mean, it made no sense. As I was watching the news earlier, and the Border Patrol agent was like, hey, these people are going to the ports of entry and disguising themselves as quote unquote asylum seekers, and they get straight into the country. You know, you got a straight gangbanger, a murderer, a pedophile, all that kind of stuff in your country right up under your nose. You don't even know.
Yeah, it's just like the very first Terminator movie when the T-800. The people didn't know that the T-800 looked like a human, and it went into the human lines in human shelters and started killing everyone.
Right.
Yeah. So also about the election in Virginia, I mean, it's so obvious that it was that the Democrats going to take over, and me living in Arlington, I mean, you could just clearly see that it's all Democrats. I mean, they could just openly talk about the president, not knowing that you support it. you support the president.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, and I think I agree with you that probably Arlington needs to be part of DC. I think they were part of DC once before. But I think now that because of how many people that's been moving to DC, I am one of them. But I'm a moderate conservative. That they just need to make it part of DC because what they're voting for is actually hurting the places southern and as well as western from them.
Yeah, I mean, like they're hurting everywhere that's not pretty much DC. Now, even some of the liberal places like parts of Richmond and like Hampton Roads, they're not as liberal as the DC metro area is, and the money, like all the tolls and stuff. I mean, it's just people are just really suffering down Southern Virginia, especially Southwest Virginia. Oh my goodness, I feel terrible for them. That's a whole different world. It's like going from Tokyo, Japan to somewhere Central Africa. It's like night and day.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about because I drove through there before, driving to West Virginia for an interview. Once I went west of Richmond, going on U.S. Highway 250, it was just nothing out there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and then also like in 2017, I think it was 2017, where Petersburg and I think it's Briscoe or
Bristol.
Yeah, Bristol.
Like by Tennessee.
Yeah, but the Virginia part though, they went bankrupt.
Yeah,
those cities went bankrupt, and of course, I mean, it's probably due to what's happening in Northern Virginia.
It is because of that. Because, like you said, the Virginia part of Bristol went bankrupt, not the Tennessee part. The Tennessee part perfectly fine. So, and if people don't know, Bristol, Tennessee, and Bristol, Virginia are like right. It's the same city basically, but it's just cut through with a line. Yeah. One part of the city is bankrupt. Other part of the city do perfectly fine. It's the policies in Virginia that are causing that to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So, and before I go off, I've been wanting to tell you this a long time ago. But in college football, Notre Dame, have you seen their new mascot?
No, I haven't.
It is a black leprechaun. Wow. So just think if they had a white person playing Shaka Zulu.
Right, exactly. It's like, man, that don't really make a lot of sense right there. What's going on? I don't know about that one. And then I want to see the people that get triggered because it's blackface. I want to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? So if he won it based off his merits that he was the best person for the job, I'm all for it. Okay, I'm all for it.
Right.
I still disagree that it's a black leprechaun. It's supposed to be a ginger. And what's so funny is that when I first saw saw him on TV, I decided to look him up, and of course, people said that he was fighting racist remarks on Twitter and stuff, and so I tried to look up these remarks. The only thing I found was I prefer my leprechaun to be ginger. That's it. No attack on him, but yet though they said that he is fighting a racist remark. Really?
Wow. That's crazy.
So anyway, thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, bye.
All right. Thanks to my man Victor for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. I'm seeing some in the chat. Somebody said people are saying stuff in the chat I can't really see. I guess people, I don't know. If anybody has an issue with me, call on the show. It's open to anybody that wants to call in. The number to call is 434-658-1220. If you got a call, if you got a problem, give me a call. We'll talk about it. How about that? You know, don't just be in the safety of the chat room. Call into the show, and we could talk about whatever you want. If you can't even call in and talk about whatever you have on your mind on the show, then what you're saying is not even going to affect me at all, because you would never do that in life if you can't even call from your phone or whatever the case. Or you can do Skype. There's the email from my Skype in the description box. If you don't have a phone, if you didn't get minutes on your Obama phone, you're on the computer right now, just use that and get on Skype. How about that? But thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you. The number to call is, again, 434-658-1220. And thank you to all the super chatters. You guys have been fantastic. All righty, let me get to the call. Unknown caller on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Or whatever the case. Or you can do Skype. There's the email.
Unknown caller, you're on the line. I think unknown caller hung up. Don't get them cold feet now. Let me get to the next call. 228, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, who's this?
This is ABL. Who is this?
Oh, hey, this is Valerie Rogers from Mississippi. I called you before.
Oh, all righty. So what's happening? How's everything going?
Oh, we're freezing to death. It's in the 40s here. And you know what happens to people from the South when it gets down below 40? We die.
That's right.
You know, it just ain't natural. No, what I want to talk about is the way Christians are being made fun of on different TV shows and stuff. If you happen to be a believer, a Christian, and you tell people you're a Christian, they call you stupid, they call you ignorant and everything else. When did that become popular? You know? If you don't believe, that's your business. God said, Jesus said, he's going to judge us one by one. He's not going to judge us as a group. So I'm not worried about if you believe or not. I hope you do, and I hope you get saved and you go to heaven, but I only have to worry about me. I don't have to worry about anybody else. But I don't appreciate some of these TV shows, stuff that they come on and they start making fun of it. They act like you're ignorant. I got news for you. Christian people are educated. They know a lot of stuff. You know, we're not educated. Just because we are faithful and we believe in God doesn't make us ignorant. And that's just what I believe.
That's right.
You know, so what's your opinion of it?
No, I mean, I agree with you 100%. Some people just, at the end of the day, they just kind of are full of hatred, and they don't know how to express their hatred any other way.
You're right about that. I never thought about it that way. You're right. It's hatred. And, you know, and hatred is not from God. Hatred comes from Satan. You're right about that. Thank you for that piece of wisdom. It's very good. Well, that's all I got to say. And I like the show. I watch it all the time.
Well, I thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Shout out to Valerie for the call. Most certainly appreciate her. Let me get to the next call. 505, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Not from God. Hatred comes.
505. Can you hear me? All righty. What's going on?
Not much. I live in New Mexico. I just subscribed to your channel. I like everything that you're doing. I like to hear it, the vibe and all that.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate that. So what's on your mind tonight? What brings you to call in the show?
It was the topic about the borders, about that killing, the mass killing over there, the cartel.
Oh, yeah. Very terrible. What's your opinion on that?
My opinion on that is like I worked in the oil field here in New Mexico, and I worked with a lot of Mexicans that come over and work for a better life. And a lot of them don't even go back there because of all that's going on down there at their home. They go down there to visit, and all they do is get robbed and get guns pointed at them. They end up coming back with their lives, but they come back with less, and they have to pay the cartel and all that. So much corruption down there.
Yeah, exactly. Because one thing that I was hearing from people that are Mexican when I was at the border a couple years back, they're telling me, hey, we came here to get away from the violence in Mexico. We don't want it to follow us over here. They had a wall in El Paso when I was there. They had a wall right there because they understand that they want security. They want safety for themselves and their families. You got little kids getting caught up in the crossfire. Nobody wants that. People say it's racist to have a wall. It's like, nah, it's about safety. It's the same reason why you put a lock on your door, your vehicle, all of that. It's just security, and that's it.
Exactly. So I worked with a lot of Mexicans here that say they don't even go back anymore. Because recently I had a friend that just went back there. He went back there to visit his home village, and they had the guns pull on him. He had to pay him $300 just to let him go.
Yeah, it's like you being kidnapped. It's like, okay, you being soft kidnapped, and then it's like, what's the point of having to go through that when I can go to America and not deal with that?
Yeah, and then this is the funny part right here, and it's not funny, it's sad actually. My girlfriend called me because her brother married a Mexican family. Their grandmother would go back to Mexico to help her village out. They couldn't get a hold of her, they couldn't get a contact of her until like a week later. They said they found her body in the next door village in a hotel room where she was strangled to death, and they robbed her.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. And then she kept screaming to me, crying, how are they going to find them? How are they going to find them? And I told them, they're not going to find who did it. It's the cartel, the cops, all that's corrupted. I'm sad to tell you this, but there's no justice. You will find no justice in that down there. It's so corrupted that, I mean, just tell your brother, I'm sorry, but he's not going to know what happened to his mother-in-law.
Exactly.
So they had to tell their grandkids that she got in a car accident.
Yeah, I mean, that's
probably. They don't want to tell the kids. Yeah.
And that's probably best because you don't want to tell, like you said, you don't want to tell the kids that this really violent and gruesome story. Tell them something that they can kind of deal with rather than the reality, which is just very crazy, very, very violent and gruesome. I was watching the news today, and they said that the odds of a crime being reported, investigated, and people being brought to justice is 1% in Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a documentary in Mexico where, like, the avocado farmers are taking arms against themselves, against the cartel, and against the government because they got tired of getting muscled. And the cartel took a couple of the village kids and chopped them up and laid them out. And then the family members were saying, why are we doing this? And he said, well, we can't give up now. Our kids here got chopped up for no reason. If we turn over and start paying them what they want us to pay, your kids got killed for no reason.
Yeah, that's rough.
Life would be insane. Yeah. So a lot of my Mexican friends, they don't go back there no more. They're proud to be here in America, and they're proud to go through the front door than the back door. They sat there and paid how much money to get their permanent, their green card, their permanent to residency to stay here. I mean, but they say it's pretty bad down there. It's corrupt all the way up and down, you know.
That's right, 100%. All right, man. Well, I thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you, brother. Keep up. Keep on keeping on, you know.
Will do, man.
Live in a great country. Live in a blessed country that a lot of people take for granted.
100% correct. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I tell my kids that because they're closer to the border right now, and I tell them, don't go down there. Don't do any of that, man. You guys are blessed. We live in a country where you guys can do whatever you want, whenever you want, you know.
That's right.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Lord bless you, brother.
Thank you, man. God bless you.
Right. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the call. I most certainly appreciate him. Let me get to the next call here. Let's go. 505, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, you're speaking to Larry Somerville. How you doing today?
Everything is great. How about yourself?
Well, I'm doing fine. I wanted to comment on some of the things that you were covering today on your talk show. But first of all, I wanted to introduce myself. I am a constitutional law enforcement officer. Do you know what that is?
I do not know.
Well, how many laws do we have in this country?
I have no idea. A lot.
We have one. It's called the Constitution.
Okay.
Statutes and ordinance and codes are not laws. We have one law. It's called the Constitution. To be doing law enforcement, you have to be enforcing the Constitution. Do you follow what that is?
I'm following you, but I'm not quite sure I understand as of yet.
Well, you have patrolmen, and they're running up and down your street. They have a uniform, and on that uniform, they say that they're the police. So everyone calls them law enforcement. But they're not law enforcement, they're patrolmen. They do not enforce the Constitution. And even the Supreme Court ruled until the people create constitutional law enforcement, their public officials, elected and appointed, and employees will continue to violate their rights. So I created constitutional law enforcement, and I have jurisdiction across the country, from sea to sea, from border to border. I have a corporation in Washington, D.C. We have full authority to make arrests.
Have you made
now,
any
I
arrests?
hear a lot of people. Have I made any arrests?
Yes.
Well, do you have your evidence to file your evidence with me? Are you willing to file the criminal complaint?
I don't know anything about that. I'm just asking about.
Wow! You don't know anything about that? Did you take your Pledge of Allegiance, sir?
I mean, sir, I'm just asking. Have you made any arrests? That's all. I just want to get a little bit of understanding of what's happening.
Well, what I do is I do investigations, and I set up for seizing people's property. So we're getting ready to start seizing everybody's property for crimes against the American people in violation of the Constitution, acting as combatants against the United States government. So we're working on going after Congress. As soon as we get clearance, we'll be in there to arrest them. And we're looking at public officials, whether they're elected or appointed, to start making arrests on them and filing seizures on their property for violations against this country.
Okay, so as of yet, you've not made an arrest, but you're going to get to that point eventually?
Oh, we do the investigations. The arrests are going to be easy, but we were having a lot of problems because a lot of these people in government, like judges, they seem to believe that they're the bosses of the sheriff deputies. So the sheriff's deputies do the bidding for the judge, but the judge has no jurisdiction to be a boss. He's only part of the court mechanism. And so we had to figure a way on how we're going to be able to pick in the whole circle of group of people to get the one person we want to get. So we've got everything working in that direction, and we will start acting on that real soon. But I wanted to call you to advise all the American people. All of you took a Pledge of Allegiance. That means all of you are subject to the United States. That means all of you have a commission to protect the United States and to protect the office of the president. Now, a lot of people on your talk show have admitted that they know of the crimes. When I asked if they have any evidence, none of them respond with evidence. Well, that in itself is a crime because they went on your show and posted or published their comment. If they don't have any evidence, that's slander. And that's a violation of anybody's rights. And so we go on shows like yours and we caution the public not to make any false or misleading statements, not to make any threats against any public official, because we have jurisdiction to make arrests. And because we can get your IP address, that would be kind of easy. So when you ask me a question, why I have not arrested anybody, because I would have to start arresting you Americans first. You have not performed your duties. You're an insurrection to your Constitution, and you've allowed your public officials to run rampant around the world, creating tyranny for the innocent.
So okay, I have a question. So what can we actually do to stop that from happening? What can we do to stop what you're saying?
Well, number one, the people put these individuals in office. The law requires that the people remove them from office. Now, each
how they
of
gonna
you
do that?
voted. Well, I'm going to explain that. Each of you voted in a person. He's called the sheriff. The sheriff is a constitutional law enforcement officer. He's supposed to be the head officer of all your courts. That means any case.
I'm sorry, sir, but you got to get kind of the short version because I'm kind of short on time with the show. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to get it as fast as I can get it. All right. A lot of Americans don't know this. This is why you keep making the mistakes, and this is why your country's in the problem that it is. The sheriff has an obligation to protect the Constitution and to protect the people's rights. Now, when a public official gets out of line, you're supposed to file the complaint with the sheriff. So your senators and your congressmen that are involved in this treasonous activity against the president, you, the people of that county, have a responsibility to file those criminal complaints with the sheriff. The sheriff has a responsibility to remove that individual from office. The secretary has the responsibility to decommission.
I'm sorry, but I got like 30 more seconds. I'm sorry because I got to get to the next call.
Well, you asked me a question.
I understand, but sir, I get it, sir. Listen to me. Listen.
Go ahead.
I understand, but we just got time constraints. That's all.
No, I understand that, but you asked me a question. I told you, file your complaints with your sheriff of your county, in which these elected officials come from.
All right.
When you do that, the sheriff has to remove them from office.
Okay.
We can return this country back peacefully to the hands of the people if the people will perform their duties. But
well,
I do thank you.
Thank you for the call.
And all right, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh boy, that was an ordeal. Y'all gotta stop drinking before you call into the show. But let me get to the next call. Let's go. 918 in the line. Who am I speaking to?
Trey.
Wow.
That was the craziest call.
Yeah, that was out there.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to ask you about the whistleblower because I know Ivan called in earlier and he was talking about the whistleblower. I've heard a couple of theories about the whistleblower. They say that he heard it secondhand information. I've heard that theory that he was a secondhand information guy, that he heard it from somebody, the whistleblower.
Yeah.
And then they even changed the rules for the whistleblower. So how's this guy credible?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, because I did hear about the whole secondhand thing. Like he heard that somebody else heard it and then he reported it. It's like, come on, man. Like, shouldn't you, if you quote unquote whistleblowing, shouldn't you be the guy that's like right there in the room hearing the information? All you doing is just gossiping. How was that considered whistleblowing? It's just really weird. And then he went to Adam Schiff before they set this whole thing up. It's just, to me, it's less bald-faced corruption.
Yeah, like, because I mean, like, if you change the rules, like I think they even changed them back. They changed the rules for him, and then they changed them back. So people are not seeing, like, I know it's kind of been swept under the rug because the media doesn't cover anything you see with the Epstein thing, but like that just screams corruption to me. And then he was talking about how come the people won't like go testify. Is because like I think the Republicans still don't have any subpoena power. If they can advise to subpoena somebody, but Schiff still has to approve it. So why would you go along with it?
Right, exactly.
I think what else I was going to ask you. Oh yeah, have you? I've heard that Newsom has been, passing bills because, California's on fire right now. He's trying to reverse some of the. They say he's like even reverse some of the bills that the previous governor did that that's causing some of the problems with the wildfires. And he's been signing bills like crazy. And I just looked through like California is the craziest. I've never seen anything like this. Like I looked and see how many bills they pass. Yeah. He's passed he's signed 700 and something bills.
But it's like, okay, all these bills, what are you even doing? What are you getting accomplished? Because you got people on the street using drugs, feces on the ground, fires everywhere. What are you even doing?
Yeah. I mean, I just thought it was ridiculous that I'm like, I'm gonna have to look around and see, like, is there any other states that pass this many bills? Because they just run roughshod because it's only Democrats, and they proposed like 1,000 already this year.
Right.
And then you see, like, you notice if you look around with the liberal states, I haven't heard that Austin's having a homeless problem. They're like the southern San Francisco, like they're like little San Francisco in Texas, and they're having problems with homelessness. And you just notice that all these liberal cities are having, trouble with the homeless, having a homeless issue. They said de Blasio is shipping out homeless people from New York.
Yeah,
so,
I heard that. I heard that he was not only shipping them out, but shipping them to Hawaii. I was like,
wow.
Doc, like basically off the continental United States. You're talking about like a 15-hour flight from New York. That's crazy. But hey, I mean, the left, they talk about all this stuff. Oh, we're for all the homeless people, all the poor people, but not really. Get out of here, go to Hawaii. How about that? Enjoy it.
This is the last thing I'm going to talk about, the UFC. Like, I've been a UFC fan for a while, but just to hear the fighters talk about the president, like Jorge Masvidal is like one of the hottest. He's like the hottest person in MMA. He's Cuban descent, lives in Florida, and he was just talking about how he was, honored that the president was there. And then Trump tweeted him. He tweeted him back. It was cool because he'd be somebody that you wouldn't think that would support the president. Nate Diaz was talking about. He's like, the reason why the president's here is because I'm fighting. He's like, how many people does the president want to come see fight? He came to see me fight because he was a guy fighting Jorge Masvidal.
Yeah.
And then Derek Lewis, being a black dude, Nate Diaz is Mexican descent, and then Derek Lewis is, obviously black. So
and then of course,
the president.
Of course, you got Dana White, the big dog, the president.
Yeah.
Good friends with him. Gave an interview. It was great. Supported him. Talked about how you've been a stand-up dude since the very beginning. It's the first time he met him. He's always been a stand-up dude. Did what he said. Meant what he said. So everybody's on this side. Like you said, all different backgrounds. It's great to see that.
Yeah. Even Mike Tyson said the same thing about Donald Trump. Because people asked him why he supported him. He's like, dude, when nobody wanted to do anything, had anything to do with me, he still supported me. After he came out of prison and stuff like that, he was still the same guy with him. So, but anyway, enjoying the show. Keep it up. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you to Trey for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Yeah, I mean, Trump, builds relationships with people. He's cool with you. He always going to look out for you. He's an honest person. I mean, and people just can't really turn their back on that at the end of the day. I mean, they can turn their back on that, but people don't because, people just aren't really fake like that. Not too much. That's just not really how people operate. All right, let me get to the next call. 602, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, this is Frank from Arizona, man. How you doing?
Everything is good, man. What's happening?
Hey, I just wanted to call, man, and I seen that deal with that Nick Fuentes and Charlie Kirk deal.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, man, these guys, they need to stop. We need to stop fighting amongst each other, man, on just these little issues, If you're on the same, I'm sure they're both going to vote Republican, right?
Yeah, I would suppose so.
Yeah, so they both have their different views, who cares? Like you have your beliefs and I have my beliefs, like I've heard you say that you're not a Christian. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I mean, I'm a Christian, and I don't hold that against you. I'm not going to bring that up. But we both agree on the same policies in politics, right?
Yes.
And that's the issue about Nick Fuentes about Israel. He has an issue with Charlie Kirk supports Israel. I support Israel. So what? You don't support them, or you don't want the U.S. to give them money. I mean, the United States gives all kinds of money to different countries, right? So, I mean, if Israel, Israel's like us, they're a free country right in the Middle East. What's the big deal of us giving them money when they have the same beliefs as us? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Charlie Kirk, he shouldn't be stopping them from coming into his their deals that they have. He shouldn't. He should let any of them come in, because that's what we believe in, free speech. Like I've told people, people that I talk to, and I'll argue with them or debate with them, and sometimes I don't like. I'm just a straight out person. Sometimes I don't like what they say, and I tell them, man, shut up. But and then they tell me, and they put me in check. I'll take constructive criticism all day. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll say, hey, man, sorry. But they say, why are you telling me to shut up? I thought you believe in free speech, and you're telling me to shut up. And I say, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I just don't like what you're saying. You're making me mad. That's all. But you're right. You do have free speech. So I'm wrong. I apologize. I'll let them talk. And in my mind, I'm just saying, man, shut up. You sound stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they should just squash that, man. Charlie Kirk should talk to them. They should take a freaking picture together, because that's what Nick Fuentes wanted to do. I don't even know Nick Fuentes. I just heard this deal, and I looked at it, and he was on the Alex Jones show, talking with Alex and stuff. But the fighting that's going on with us, man, they gotta stop that crap, man. What do you think?
I mean, I think a lot of this stuff is just kind of overblown. People just trying to get attention, and it's not really that. It ain't really gonna be nothing. It's just kind of like an internet thing that won't really translate. Because when I'm out there in the streets, people don't even know what this stuff. They don't know what's really going on here that we know. So I don't think it's really nothing. But the bigger thing is, I think that a lot of the petty differences and the hatred and the envy should get put to the side, and we should focus on the issues that we face as a nation. You got the opioid crisis raging on right now. You got the trade war happening right now. You got people trying to get the president out of office through a coup. People, quote unquote, whistleblowing. You got much bigger issues than little petty high school girl drama. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you got our education. You got our free speech. You got the Second Amendment. I mean, those are way bigger issues, man.
Correct.
And exactly, man. We ain't got time. They shouldn't be fighting. Like I said in the past, man, we got enough enemies as it is on the left for our energy to be going on people that are on the right. They're both on the right. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, spend your energy on these sick left-wing Democrats, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't spend your energy on Charlie Kirk. Or Charlie Kirk should talk to the guy, man. That's what I think. I just wanted to see what you thought about that, man.
Well, hey, I mean, I think people can talk to, but yeah, people could talk to who they want or not. I mean, it should be kind of a free thing either way. So, I mean, I think beyond all this, we'll be able to get past it and just vote for who we want to vote and get the general thing going. All the little petty stuff, I think, won't really be an issue pretty soon here.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But thank you for
all
the
right,
call.
Man. That's all I want. No problem, man. I just wanted to call and see what you thought about that, because you had talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
I think earlier today, didn't you?
I think I did, yeah.
Before you started taking calls?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick Fuente. I didn't even know who that was, and then I looked him up. I said, and then I just looked at his deal. Like, I looked at his YouTube thing, and I listened to him on one. And the guy, I don't know, man. That's not for me, dude. I don't like that. I like more serious people, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not like yeah, I'm not that way, man. I like you. I like just basic, straight up people, man.
I'm with you,
Forget
man.
all the other nonsense. But all right, man. I'll let you go, man. Thanks for taking my call, and God bless you. Have a good night.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, brother. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. Let me get to the next call here. 479, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, man, it's Sean from D.C.
All right, Sean, what's happening?
Hey, man, I was just, I was looking at the whole policing situation and all this fuss about police brutality in the inner cities. And I just wanted to get your take, and I kind of think this is what should be done, but I'm thinking, we need to basically, what do you think about us doing like race-based policing? So having like a a black, police force in these inner cities so that they can't say it's just racism.
Nah, I mean, I think you just got to have the best police, and then have the backing of the city and the state and the federal. Just be backed by it. I mean, the black police, maybe that can work, to have some black folks on the force to help, but I don't know, because okay, you got issues with the race base. If we're going to focus on that, if you have like mostly white police in the black area, if a thing were to happen, then it'll be blamed on racism. If you have black police in the black area, a lot of times the criminals who are black in the area will tend to think they got kind of more leeway because they got a black officer there. It's like, okay, you my friend, you got to be down with the cause. So it can kind of put the black officers in a weird situation. I think the main thing should just be get the best officers for the job that are available in the area, and don't worry about all the racial stuff. Just have the support of your police chiefs, your mayors, your governors, the whole nine. Because when Tamir Rice got shot, I forget who that was that came on TV. I don't know if it was the chief or what, but they were asking real tough questions about it, and the guy was not backing down. He was like, yep, we did what we had to do. It was the right thing. It was a good shoot. And he wasn't trying to like kowtow and bend. And that is what really helped shield the people that were involved with that and that particular police force. So that's the main thing, have the support of your local people rather than just trying to do race-based stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. That's a good point. Hey, man, I just wanted to, let you know I'm a big fan of your show, and I'm subscribed, and just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
No problem. You have a good one. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. I appreciate him. Shout out to American Cholo, says, I need that interview. Hey, I see your channel. I see you got something going on, man. I'm going to try to get in touch with you. Matter of fact, my email's on my website, so I don't forget right now. It's contact@anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN. A link for that is in my description box. You could go to it, send me an email, and I try to just, keep an eye on it and contact you that way so we can see what's going on. But let me get to my next call here. All right, let's go. All right, SOBC, you on the line. What's going on?
ABL, can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Oh, great. So, I just had the spicy Popeyes chicken sandwich today, first time. And ABL, I know I've called you before, and I told you how much I love Chick-fil-A, but I think this sandwich beats that Chick-fil-A sandwich, to be honest.
Really? Is it that good?
Oh, ABL, I don't know. I see why people are dying. I understand why people are killing themselves and people are fighting and shooting each other over this sandwich.
Wow, that's pretty deep. I might have to go get one, but if I do, I got to put on some kind of body armor, man, because it's getting kind of dangerous out there.
You might need to, ABL. You might need to, because that sandwich was man. It was something else. And the thing is, with the Chick-fil-A sandwich, whenever I eat it, I always feel groggy after. I feel groggy. I get a headache. I get a Sugar Rush. I don't know that. I don't know what they put in that sandwich. I mean, it tastes good, but I just feel funny after eating it.
Nah.
But today, after eating this Popeyes chicken sandwich, I was ready to go for another one. ABL. It was good. It was good. But anyway, I disagree with you about what you said. The whole Charlie Kirk, Nick Fuentes. I mean, I think you called it a high school drama thing. I disagree with you. Because I feel like this is a fight for the conservative movement. You know, let me tell you, Abiel, I did not know that guy. What's his name? Rob Smith. I had no idea he was gay. You know, this was maybe a year ago, a year and a half ago, and I used to see him around here and there on YouTube. I had no idea he was gay until I saw him prancing around with Turning Point USA, and you know, saying he's gay and all this and that. And then Turning Point USA turns around and say they don't play identity politics. Oh, they do play identity politics, and he is the face of their identity politics.
But what is that? So what is identity politics?
Using his I'm gay, I'm this, I'm black, I'm conservative, or center right. He actually calls himself center right. He doesn't call himself conservative.
Yeah, but I think what they're doing is no different than if, how can I say this? It's like having a translator that speaks Spanish, to speak to Spanish people. You're not playing identity politics. Is that you got to get people like that on your team. So here's an example. I can say that the whole transgender agenda is wrong. You can say it. Charlie Kirk can say it. But if you got a gay person saying it, people tend to not dismiss it right away. It's the same thing if I talk about black issues. I can say it, but if Charlie Kirk were to say it, he'd be instantly labeled racist, white supremacist, Nazi, etc. You're just trying to get the message out there and have it be heard without it being instantly dismissed. To me, identity politics is when you do certain things just because of your identity. You know, you have certain little things that are only because of your identity. Or you're black, you must vote this way. If you don't, then you are excommunicated. You're no longer black. You're no longer part of the black community. Versus saying, I'm black, and I think these are the things that's going on in the black community that should get fixed. And you can't ignore me because I'm black saying it. It can't, like, prime example, when I was at Politicon in Nashville a few days ago, I was at this panel, and it was 5 white people on stage talking about guns. Nothing wrong with that. I don't care about the race, but the one guy did. He started to talk about, well, the black community, they're really for gun control. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm right in the front row. I give him a big thumbs down. Right when I did that, he stopped. Because what can you say? You're a white guy trying to talk about what's going on in the black community. I'm actually black talking about it. How can you fight that? You see what I'm saying?
But I disagree with your analogy, ABL. I mean, look. You get dismissed by other black people. They don't listen to you, ABL. They might listen to you, what you're saying, but they might hear what you're saying, but they don't listen to you.
I understand.
They call you coon. They call you this. They call you Uncle Tom. They call you all kinds of names.
That's a fair point, but the truth is they don't really matter when it comes to actual politics. Quite frankly, people that talk like that don't matter when it comes to politics because they're not going to be in any kind of position of power at all. When I'm talking about stuff like that, I'm not talking about Pookie and Ray Ray on the block. They have no significance at all. That's just banter from people that have no power, powerless. I'm talking about real people that have power, not them.
What do you mean real people that have power? Like the voters?
People that, I mean, the voters, people that make decisions, people that are on television all the time, people that have actual influence upon people. When, like, if I'm on television having a debate with somebody that's some kind of a professor at a college or something like that, is different than talking to just somebody at a dinner table or arguing with somebody online that's a troll.
But I mean, if you're, for example, you're a YouTube influencer, right? I mean, if you want to, I mean, if you're talking, I mean, if you go out and talk to you talk to voters, right? You don't talk to I mean, you want to influence regular people who vote, right? Who go out and vote. That's why, Candace Owens goes out and says things like, what does she say? I'm having a blank here. But I mean, my point is,
now, but I will say this though.
Hold on one
second. Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I just had someone interrupt me here. Sorry.
Okay. Nah, but
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna just say this though. I will say you got a point about people being voters and whatnot, but if somebody wants to say that, then some people are just going to be ignorant. Some people are looking for information. They don't really know what's going on, and when they hear stuff from people, like a lot of people, they still kind of on the fence. Black, they're in the black community still listening to only black folks, and they're not hearing anything else other than just leftist stuff all the time. When I come in and I say it, it's different than somebody that's conservative and the white person saying it. It's easy for them just to say, okay, I ain't even going to listen to it. But when I come in, it's hard for them to really ignore it, and it kind of plants the seed. I get emails every day from people, black people, saying, hey man, you helped me to, see the light. You gave me the red pill. People talk to me in person and say that. Had that happen to me when I was in DC. People coming up to me, shaking my hand, giving me a hug. You helped me to get to where I'm at now. But if I were a white guy, it may not have actually had the same kind of impact. That's all that people like Rob is trying to do with his thing, and people like myself trying to do with my thing. It's not about saying, oh, because you're black, you got to do X, Y, and Z. It's about you're black. You could think like this if you want to. If you don't, that's fine. But if you do, hey, here it is. Here's the information.
But I mean, what impact is Rob going to make on other homosexuals or trans people? He's not going to make any impact. So just coming.
If he's not, then why does it matter?
Exactly. Why does it matter? And why does it matter that he comes out saying he's homosexual, he's black, is this and that?
No, but
it doesn't matter. We don't need to know about it.
My point was,
we don't need to know.
If he's not making the impact, then why does anybody even care to talk about him at all? Why are we talking about him right now if he's not going to make an impact? Why does anybody care?
The reason why I'm talking about him is because he comes out saying he is homosexual. He uses that as, his way to make his points and, get his voice out there,
But see,
that he uses that homosexual card.
I get that.
That's what I'm saying.
I get that. But he ain't
and that's why we're losing. That's why the conservative movement is losing.
Okay.
We can't keep using these people to, spearhead the movement.
On one hand, you say that he's not making the difference. On the other hand, you say that's why we're losing. So he is making the difference. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, in the whole, the fact that he's homosexual, to me, I mean that he's making a negative difference. That's the difference.
So I mean, either he is or he isn't. If he's making a difference, he's making a difference. You could say that it's not a good one, but he is making an impact.
It's not a good one.
But see, he's making an impact. Okay, there you go. Exactly. Now
but we're looking for positive impact. We're not looking for negative impact.
But what is a negative impact?
I mean here's the thing. I want a Jesse Lee Peterson type conservative leading the conservative movement. A man, a straight, strong man leading the movement. We don't want contradictions. Just like what's his name? Hotep Jesus called last time, right? You can't conservative. The principles of conservatism stem from Christianity. You can't call yourself a conservative or be part of the conservative movement and wear your homosexual badge and come out and try to lead the whole movement. It's just a contradiction. But it doesn't make sense.
My question was, how is it a negative impact?
Just that fact alone. Just that fact, ABL. Just that fact alone. That's.
I mean, because is he leading a movement? He's just a guy that's out there. I don't understand the focus on him. He's not the biggest person that's out there doing this. That's a black conservative or conservative in general. He's just one of many. So why is it?
But he has a voice. He has a voice, though. He has a loud mic.
Okay,
he has a very loud mic.
He has a voice, but he can use that voice to do good. Because one thing people don't understand, and maybe don't really look at is the fact that we're fighting the war on many different sides. It's not just, a straight laser shot. You got people being flanked from all directions. One thing that Rob speaks against is this whole drag queen story time stuff that's just happening and ain't nobody really doing nothing about it. He's going out there as a gay person speaking against it. His voice will have a much bigger impact than anybody else's that's not gay. So if you don't want them on the team, the drag queen story time will continue to go on as it has been, even under people that are hold up, even under people that are conservative leading the quote unquote movement. You see what I'm saying? Like, we've not had success in being able to stop that, so why not have him to try and a person from the inside of the gay community try to defeat it that way? You see what I'm saying?
But how do you know that voice is making an impact in the gay community by criticizing trans story time? How do you know it's making an impact? We don't know that.
Well, I can't really measure it, but I know that what we were doing wasn't working because it's raging on. They still having them. They still going to the library and having them. So what we were doing wasn't working. So why keep doing the same old thing, beating our head into the wall with no results? Why not get people to help us to beat this? Like, my thing is this: what somebody does in their spare time ain't really my business. Some may disagree with that, and that's okay. I can get along with those.
Exactly.
I mean, that's fine. But at the end of the day, to exclude people from the movement because of a disagreement of some people, it doesn't make any sense. What's going to happen is you're going to kind of like just start to hemorrhage people, and the things you want to fight for will not actually work because you don't have anybody to help you do it. People are saying no gays in conservatism. All right, no gays. Nobody that associates with gays, because people are not going to like that. They're not going to like the what they consider bigotry. They're going to leave. And then the ideas that we want to fight for and get onto the books and all that kind of good stuff are just not going to happen because we don't have the people to be able to get her done. The other side will win. They're going to laugh all the way to the polls and continue to beat us. If we want to do that, then it is what it is. If we don't, then we got to try something different.
But here's the thing, ABL. I don't want to kick the Robs out of conservatives. I want to welcome them in, but I want to also tell them, hey, this is a correct way to live your life, And yeah, I don't want to eliminate them from the movement, I said, I think I said this in one of your comment sections. They can take a backseat role. I'm fine with that, but we need strong conservative men leading the conservative movement.
But see, you can't have it both ways though, because you're saying on the one hand you don't want to eliminate them, on the other hand you want to regulate them to where they're going to be. Either they're going to be in the movement or not. If they're in the movement, wherever they may land is all based upon their work, their popularity. You can't really say, oh, here's a limit. If you're in the movement, you're in the movement. If you're not, you're not. You can't have it both ways. Like, well, you can be here, but you can only be right here. Either they're going to be there or they're not. And that's pretty much all that there is.
They can take a backseat role if they're going to continue to play their whole, wear their homosexuality on their sleeves. That's what I'm trying to say.
But how can you really put a ceiling to their success or to the visibility in the movement? Either they're going to be in it or not. If they're in it, they're in it. And wherever they may land, popular, unpopular, front seat, back seat, that's just going to be determined by the hands of fate. It can't be an artificial thing, because if that's the case, it's the equivalent of not having them in the movement at all. Like, this is like me, if I were to come into a movement and they say, well, you could come in, ABL, but guess what? You can only be right here. You can't really, I'm just like, nah, why would I be over here? I'm going to go over there where I can do whatever I want and I'm not restricted.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, ABL. But like I said earlier, I'm fine with welcoming there's homosexuals in, but then I also have to be open and tell them, hey, this is the correct way to live your life. I don't want to do things like liberals do. That's what liberals do. I don't want to welcome the same type of behavior into the conservative movement.
Like,
we're just going to continue to lose doing the same thing that liberals are doing.
From your viewpoint, I understand. You can voice your opinion and that's fine, but to try and prevent others from doing certain things and to try to put blocks on them, it just ain't going to work. You can have your opinion, they can have theirs, and that's fine. But I think that's probably where it should stop.
All right. Well, yeah, I definitely. Great discussion. Great discussion, ABL.
Definitely, man. Absolutely, man. I thank you for the call and support as always.
All right. Take care, ABL.
All right. Same to you.
All right.
All right. Shout out to my man SOBC. Great conversation. But yeah, if you're gonna include gays in the movement, they're gonna be there. Wherever they may land, it's all up to them, all up to their work ethic, all up to the hands of fate. That's it. It can't be anything artificial. That just ain't really how things operate. Shout out to Hollow 502 who says, I like watching the live stream since I get more informed on the conservative side of politics. Just keep being you, man, and I hope you enjoy your day. And thank you for that. I definitely appreciate you. I'm going to always be me 100% of the time. I can't be nobody else. If I could be, I'd be in Hollywood as an actor. But thank you for that. Shout out to Zedatu's King Sword who says, did you watch Dr. Corsi on Duck the Coach channel? I did not see that, but I'm going to check it out and see what's happening. Thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. All right. I'm kind of like out of time, honestly. That went kind of long. So let me see if I got anybody. Hold on. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got to go, actually. It's 11 o'clock right on the dot. Sorry to anybody that I couldn't get on the line, but I got to go right now. I'll be back live again on Saturday of this week. Friday, I'll be in Atlanta, but only for the day. I'll be leaving that morning. I'll be back by the evening. I'll be here Saturday doing my live show as usual. And Sunday, I will be in Atlanta again. Friday, I'll be there for the Trump Black Voices event. A lot of black folks are being recruited to help with the conservative movement, to get people in the black community on board with the Trump train, because, one thing, it's just what I was talking about. Now, I'm going to say this, but don't think I'm conflating gay and black, because it ain't the same thing. It's just different communities of people. You got to have black folks like myself invited to these things to get other black folks on board with the movement. They could listen to a Rush Limbaugh and stuff like that like I did, but it's not always going to hit the same way. It's just, when you see a guy like me and I can talk at you or talk to you, it's different than somebody that's not looking like me. It's just, it is what it is. And the objective is to get everybody on the same page with the principles of conservatism, at least from a political standpoint. The personal stuff, that might just be a matter of opinion. And Sunday, I'll be at the Blexit rally, which is a Candace Owens event. Of course, she'll be there. David Harris Jr., Brandon Tatum, Terrence Williams, and many more. Tickets for the Blexit event are available, I think, on Candace Owens' page if they're not already sold out. The event on Friday, that's invite only. So I can't, there's no tickets for that. Shout out to my man, Get a Job in the building. Thank you for all the Justin Lee Peterson compilation videos. I definitely appreciate it. Let me see. And that's pretty much all I got. Oh, shout out to the mods. You guys do good all the time. Ansel, Michelle A, Liza Jean, Bill from the Hills. Shout out to my man, Boat Like a Leper, who says, I debated dancing Israelis, theorists, see Discord. I'm going to check that out. Shout out to my man, Boat Like a Leopard. What else I got? Liza Jean, thank you for being a mod and doing your due diligence. And thank y'all for being here. I'm missing something, am I? I got everything. Go to the website, anthonyblogan.com, ANTHON by the letter B, LOGAN. And that's all I got. So, until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.